Yeah, Saturday afternoon footy at the SCG. North Melbourne travel to Sydney to take on the Swans, who are in very good touch. Congratulations, by the way, to Adelaide, the girls winning the AFLW Grand Final over Melbourne. They are a powerhouse as I look around. A powerhouse is the way to describe the gentleman in this room. The Big Duke. We don't see on a Saturday afternoon that often because of Saturday night calling duties. Nice to see you.
Good to be here, Jim, and I'm always interested in a side after a 100-point smashing and what happens. It adds a layer of intrigue, Jim. I know it's a club that you dedicated a lot of your time to. Their greatest ever player is with us today, and so they have got a massive challenge today against an informed Sydney. I'm fascinated to see what happens in this one.
The interest to me, Bernard, is Duck and I are far more buoyant than Chua, who's he has just latched onto his biggest, fattest art-line black pen and gone...
Thrown the toys right out of the copper.
He has completely filthied up.
Still a bit flat from last week. Just a little bit. Just a tinge.
Welcome to you, Bernard.
Yeah, good to be here, boys. I was actually listening to Das last night, Friday Huddle, and how did the Chief pull up after the first half an hour? Because I was in the car driving and I heard, and he really filthed up and you were attacking him and you just didn't give up.
Speaking of throwing the toys out of the cot, it's one of the most petulant displays that I've ever seen him. He got wind that we were going to have and he threatened everyone, said, I'll bash anyone that... and then sat outside the commentary box, refused to come in.
How did you...
And then
what
just
were you
put his
nailing
head
him
down. Just the fact that perhaps he's sort of past it and he's ageing. He's got lost control of his bodily functions on air. Is a concern for him.
Sneezing live on set.
That he's, talking over commentators regularly. He's a recidivist on that front, trying to inject himself in. I mean, it's all falling apart for the Chief. I suspect he's only got a couple of years left with us, but in life, I'm not talking about in Triple M.
He's doubled down.
Well, but then he sook up. I couldn't believe the tantrum.
What we have always experienced with the Chief is he has got a magnificent ability to hand it out. But when the cannon gets turned on him, he gets very petulant.
Extraordinary scenes.
I'm surprised he bounced back because I thought that was it. He may not do the call. I thought he might have been off.
He's got sensitive in his old age.
Well, I ran into the Chief yesterday. I actually had a function and they had their 91 reunion. Which they have a reunion just about every year, those blokes. But Dermy was there, the Chief was there, and obviously left early enough to get to work. But he was in a good mood.
Really?
He was in a very good mood when I saw him.
That changed.
That's soured.
They did attack him. I liked it.
Well, good. He deserves it.
Correct.
He's attacked himself so many times that it won't do him any harm to be on the receiving end. Now, what are we seeing today, Bernard and Duck? It's hard to make too much of a case for the Kangaroos after what they served up last week.
No, you can't. And a few people have said I might have been a little bit harsh in saying that. I just thought it started the week before when they beat the Waffle team. I thought the way they, and I know it's old school, but they came in, they'll throw the Gatorade, Powerade around everywhere. It was like they'd won a grand final, and yet they'd beaten a Waffle team. If I'm Zeeble or one of the leaders that week, I would have grabbed them and said, listen, we had a win, we'll sing the song, but sing it in the right way. Let's put it into perspective what happened here today. Okay, it's a win and move on. And I think that translated on to the next week because they were deplorable against Brisbane. Let's not forget Brisbane are a pretty handy team at home. So
the current players, Doug, I'll be devil's advocate here for a moment. And I totally get what you're saying. They'll say, if you don't celebrate the moments, we haven't had many to celebrate. The new player will say that if you don't do that, then it's a long year. Now, I get your point.
It makes it even longer when you get flogged by 100 points the next week.
Expecting
but the other thing, look, they've got a lot of young players. We know there's a lot of people at the footy club in new positions. You've got a new coach. All of these reasons, but for me, in round 3, and I thought they finished the year off really well last year. Second part, they were competitive. They never got pumped. I think one game they got smashed, and the rest they were in the game. So round 3, you expect them to be up and about, Das. There's an energy, there's a fitness level that you have in the early rounds, and then you get a few injuries and things can slow down. So I expect that maybe later in the year, but not that early. That gets back to structure and effort. And both of those things were lacking. So they're coming up against a side today, Bernie, that are both of those. They've got talent, they've got structure, and they're playing a really good brand of footy.
Well, so what worries me, Bernard, I think 80 points last week scored against off turnover, Ash, I reckon it was about that. you expect to turn the ball over when you're young and inexperienced, so I'm not critical of skill errors or even decision-making errors. You're going to get that. Mm-hmm. But what worries me is what's happening behind the ball. Because as soon as they turn it over, they get scored against worse than any team in the comp. So what's the structure look like behind the footy? Why are teams able to move the ball so easily against them? That's method. That's what should be being taught. The skill and the decision thing, that comes, and you're going to still get beaten, but you shouldn't get opened up as badly as that.
Well, I'm going to bring Roosie up because we just spoke about him before, but he's had this analogy. He said even if you have a 35 possession game, you have the footy in your hands for about a minute and a half, he reckons. So that means 99.9% of the game, you're playing the game without the ball in your hands. So you're thinking about the next contest, setting up behind the play. And leaders do help do that behind the play. You need strong leadership across every line. But my question to them is the defence or the way they're setting up behind the ball is, are they thinking about what next? Behind the ball, if you enter it inside 50 or even if you kick it forward, you should be looking, setting up, not just yourself, but setting up others. Let's see what it looks like behind the footy. And last week, it was the way, and you spoke about the way they lost. It was almost queuing the rack type stuff. 9 goals to, I think, zip in the last quarter. It was when I say only, it was 51 points, I think, at three-quarter time. And it just looked like it was a training drill. So I'm sure they would have looked at that. And I expect a bounce back this week because David Noble in his press conference after the game was seething. He said that was just not up to standard. We were weak around the footy, and that's not the way we play. So, and that hurts as a playing group. So I'm sure, especially the leaders, would have got together this week and said, well, let's see what it looks like. And how do we get better? How do we not get... We're going to turn the footy over, as you said, Jim, but what does it look like behind the ball when we do it? How do we make it safer so when the opposition win the footy back, which they're going to do, how do we at least slow them down, not get sliced up going the other way?
To sort of back over your point before, Das, and talk about the kids of today and giving them those little wins. Well, I'm led to believe he gave them he gave them some sort of spray. So that kids don't like that either. So now it's the double whammy. Now that you get flogged, you cop a spray, and that's an old-fashioned spray, I'm led to believe. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond off a bit of old-fashioned stuff.
That is the intrigue, and I love games like this. I mean, not in a macabre way, JB. When it's your side, it's disappointing because you can't see a way out. But I reckon what you get to see today, I'm just looking at Jason Horne-Francis, who's a young competitor. We don't have to worry about him. But who's got the pride to find something today?
Well, we got the toss of the coin. Mills and Zeeble out in the middle. Don Pike has been brought into this organisation to get their ball movement, up to the elite level. The Swans have won the toss right of your radio dial, and they do move it quick now, and they move it really well. So
for the second year in a row, second year. And to be honest, I thought the Swans were the X Factor team in the 8 last year, and they got upset by GWS, as we know. I thought they could have gone a little bit further. They just have some real young talent that are hitting their peak, and they're still getting the best out of Parker, who's hit Kennedy's now playing a little bit off half-back. Buddy still hasn't had a breakout game, so Buddy's going at about... If he has a couple of big games, you get the same from those older blokes. Then your Mills and these guys, Heaney's and that, have just gone to that next level. Florence, another one that looks like... He looks real comfortable at the level.
Yeah, I just went through the list, sorry, Das, of some of the exciting young talent on this Sydney list. Warner, Rowbottom, Hayward, Florent, Mills, I guess, is getting on a little bit compared to those others, but Campbell's Eric Goulden. I mean, they're assembling a team here where this could be a good side for a long time, Sydney. So exciting times for that footy club, but we're looking for a response here from North Melbourne.
Just wanted to back over quickly, JB, the Don Pike move. I underestimated great clubs go and find great people. We thought maybe we'd lose Don Pike to the game for a couple of years. Don't underestimate his influence as a serious football person. And Swans have been brilliant at that all the way along.
Troy Luff on the boundary. Welcome to you, mate.
G'day, JB. G'day, boys. A pleasure to be here. The sun is shining. We've had another 200 millimetres of rain the last couple of days here in Sydney, and we've already recorded our annual rainfall, and we're only into April. Just a quick one. Sam Wicks, he has had to pull out health and safety protocol. James Bell is starting on the bench. Ronk and Bonner are the 2 subs for each side.
Here we go. Thanks, Luffy. Good bounce starts this one. Sherry parked under the footy. I'm not really sure why goalie wouldn't be competing in the first bounce, but he's not. Here's Horn Francis, drew a free and thumps it inside 50. Touch ball, we just heard, so Cunningham takes the mark and had to flick it to Laddams. Run down is Blakey by Zeeble, who's snuck into the forward half.
Yeah, and the reason for that, JB, is because Larkies kick 40% of their goals this year. They need other options. They've only averaged 5 goal kickers, so they need another avenue to goal, and clearly they've Goldie and Zeeble might give them that.
Gee, Zeebs wouldn't have hit the scoreboard too often, Ash, in recent times.
Could have been paying a bit for the first goal, Jim.
Goes at 58% from the set shot as well, JB.
Oh, thanks, Ash. Just get a little glass half full at some stage this afternoon as Jack Zeeble's set shot. Be a good start for the Kangaroos, and he slots it. First blood to North. One straight Sydney haven't scored. And that's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And he would have got a bit of joy out of that too. Nick Blakey, obviously John being a past grade of the North Melbourne Footy Club, and John obviously at the North Melbourne Footy Club now. Prior to that, obviously under horse for a very, very long time. So there might be a couple of little chuckles in the box. Do you reckon Nobes would have a laugh, JB? Is he sort of tired of
not yet.
Johnny and say, not yet?
Not sure he's at the laughing stage just yet.
Touch earlier, not even a minute in.
Hey, but Ben, I expect that's exactly what Jack Zeeble's going to do.
Yep.
We know he hasn't got leg speed. We know he's just going to compete, but that is a statement straight away. You'll love the character of that man, and you couldn't get a better start for the Kangaroos on the back of their captain. 1 straight 6. Cherry went hard at it. Laddams, his first game, the former Port Power ruckman, now playing for the Swans. It's Parker who drives the Swans to half forward. Buddy in the vicinity. Walker flicks it over the top. Horn Francis was in the area, but Davies Uniacke's got it. They go back. Kai had a little nervous moment. Walker has just kicked it straight into Buddy. Not ideal.
Oh no, I've got very, very strong concerns about Plugs. This is one of those days that it could unravel for the great man. He's just kicked it straight into Buddy's guts.
That was a shocking shaped ball.
Oh no. Sherry to the front, and then he's hovering over the footy. Laddams just lands on top of him. Horn Francis puts a tackle on Parker.
Big day for that man too. Pete Laddams plays his first game for Sydney today. Obviously Tom Hickey going out with that injury last week, so coming across from Port Adelaide.
Picked up by Rowbottom. High ball inside 50, and the mark dropped by Plugsy.
Oh no, Plugs.
It just came off the hands, and it's out of play deep for the Swans.
Plugsy and Mackay, you get them mixed up. They're very similar, aren't they?
There's a lot of regrowth for both.
Yep.
Horst Longmire coaching at ground level. Beautiful day. Sun shining. As Troy Luff told us, extraordinary rain in the Sydney area. We're thinking of everyone in that part of the world.
No.
Got cleaned up by Sam Reid. He looked around and said, what are you doing there?
Any danger?
Seriously, get out of my way. He's just getting a bit cranky, buddy.
Yeah, he's got the strut going.
Going to come back inboard. Lloyd's got it for Sydney. Short leading target was a pretty good one from the late inclusion. Bell, Reid back into the side. Heaney thought he was tackled without the ball. Here's Bell. Came in for Wicks. Late call. Getting back and fighting. A lot of numbers around it, and it will be thrown up right on the edge of the forward.
It's only early, but you saw Buddy get his hands to that one, get spoiled, and Reid just had a clear run at the footy as well. So they'll start clunking those.
Yeah. No, we're on real Buddy watch. He has made an awful mess of the Kangaroos in the past. Not telling Ash anything he doesn't need to know, but
13 rings a bell.
13, of course, and that's not the only one. Horn Francis' hands were good. Comes now to Scott, flicks it to Luke McDonald. Now it's Plugsy. He's run down Plugs.
He's missed it.
McInerney walks in and misses one he should have kicked. 1 straight North. The Swans are 1 behind. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores.
Aaron Hall, ball in hand from full back. Just waltzes about the full 20 metres. It's a good looking kick, wasn't it? Beautifully placed out in front of Marnie. Picked 34 back in the 2019 draft. Jack Marnie Kangaroos called to play on. This is Stevenson in centre wing, former Magpie. Won the Rising Star in 2018, wearing the long sleeves. He's seen a target he likes out the other side of the ground, and that is a pretty good ball to Scott. And Hall started it all, pushed to half forward, so the ball movement here has worked pretty well. The next kick is the one, and getting back, Blakey took the easiest of defensive marks.
The Lizard wants to go corridor two, and it's a good ball for Reid. Back to Blakey, always wants to take on the overlap running. Just a bit of Parkeroon about his delivery, though, and he coughed it up to Flynn Perez, who goes to half forward.
Blakey
Wide open Marnie, and Marnie just mungs it inside 50 to a 1v7. Swans able to just do whatever the hell they like. Get it to Parker out of side.
There actually were 7 to 1. I can confirm JB hasn't added anything to that. Never seen that before. I think I'll take Heaney at half forward. Went the don't argue, and he's a young star. Look at the polish and the skill to the goal square. Goulden down there, but the Kangaroos defenders were able to usher that through for a minor score. Bit of brilliance from Heaney. So North Melbourne, a 1 straight 6th. Sydney Swans go to 2 behinds.
I think hard to do that in modern footy. Get your structure so wrong that in your own forward half it's 1v7. Core a long one.
Maybe that's why he kicked an absolute floater.
Good mark taken by McCartan. This is Tommy. He fans it nicely for Reid, who's got himself out in front of Plugs. And he's about 40 from home on a tightish angle.
Well, he had a good grab at one only a minute ago, as I said. He's got a good set of hands, Reid. When he's fit, he had so much to this. He's almost their X factor. They could just keep him on the park.
Sammy Reid. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
That looks really good. Got it. 1-2-8 to 1 straight 6. Swans a 2-point lead. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And that's saying something, Bernie, because they've got X factors.
Yeah, they do.
They've got a few of them, but he's just so good in the air. So he's more of the marking player, but he's more of the ground player. Neither of them have sort of both strengths. Buddy really good on the deck, Reid not so good. So they do complement one another really well when they're both in that forward line.
Really poor defending there from Walker. Pugsy, as you're calling him, Jim. It was just the old-fashioned back and go, sort of half put him to sleep, as I just watched behind the goals vision on the Harvey Norman replay. He worked back, Reid, and it's just a simple training drill, pushed off, had plenty of space to lead into. Just needs to put more body work on him, Walker, early. Just keep pushing him off his line. Don't let him get set.
Start liking the balance their side, don't you? You almost forget about Sam Reid. Quick one from Troy Luff, Bob Jane T-Marts. What have you got, Luffy?
Boys, as soon as Sam Reid kicked that goal, he was taken off the ground. He's the sort of guy that has been out of the side for so long. He needed to stay on the ground to regain that confidence that he used to have.
Yeah, one of our pet hates, Luffy, always, isn't it? The goal kickers straight off the ground. Tom McCartan was well tackled down there, picked up and smothered was the kick from Braden Campbell. This is deep in defence for the Swans. Cunningham back there, Rampy under a bit of pressure, but they work it out to Goulden. Releases the handball. Back to McCartan, and now Warner. This is the skill and class that Bernie Vince was talking about. It's an exciting team, the Sydney Swans. Kick inside forward 50, not great. Made in core. And he's been able to work it to Hall. Looked up and saw nothing at all, and he spins back, and Horn Francis was a pretty good option, still at half-back.
Explain to me, Duke, why you haven't got Todd Goldstein, who's one of the best clearance ruckmen the game's actually ever seen, not playing that role.
That is hard to explain, JB.
I mean, I get the pinching forward every now and then, but the majority of the game, that's got to be where he plays, surely. Marnie just inside 50.
Oh, got crunched after he gave it.
Especially when you're getting cold, sitting at full forward.
Oh, yeah. And all due respect to Tristan Sherry, he's not getting Goldie's bag out of the boot when it comes to the craft.
And all due respect to Goldie, I'm not sure full forward is, apart from that small pinch hit, I'm not sure that's ever going to be his goal.
So I think we've worked our way around the fact that he's in the wrong part of the ground at the minute, Goldie. But this is Jack Marnie. Set shot from about 40 out, not much angle. It's a horrible kick. Wow. He could not have shanked that any worse. In fact, didn't even make the distance. Campbell's taken out. We'll have a ball in.
I was watching his run up, did everything pretty well. The vision was from behind him and he ran straight, kicked through it, but just shot out right. Interesting stat here for Plugsy Walker early. I'm not sure these are champion data stats, but I've been handed this by Ash. He's had a kick smothered, a fumble, he's been dispossessed and he's conceded a goal.
He's got his eye in tune, man. I tell you what.
Now he's getting physical with me.
These are specialised stats, that's right.
Ash stat.
Extraordinary from the Chew man. Celebrating his 21st year on the M's Chew. Never seen him cry like this. He's not happy at all. Swans go to the centre wing. Heaney launched at it as he always does, and it's off hands, out of bounds on the outer wing at the SCG. Chew man.
Positive so far for North, though. They're ranked 14th for tackles, averaging 12 per quarter. They've already laid 7, and we've only played 10 minutes.
Decent crowd here in Sydney. Provided the home crowd with some really good box office, the Swans, over the journey. This part of the world. Vaughan Francis taken in a very strong tackle from Ollie Florent. Have another ball up. Work down in front of Taylor. A little one now to Simpkin, who's a good player. Short ball just finds Luke McDonald, another good player. Thumping long one inside 50. You can get on the end of this. Oh, the goal man! Here he is!
That's why, Jim.
Deep marking forward option, Todd Goldstein.
Why would you
I
play
had
him?
his back. You all jumped off him. Big gold man on old Gap McCartan. So he'll have a shot now, and this is a good look. Only about 30 out, not much angle. For the Kangaroos second. Oh, just got it, I reckon. He has. 2 straight 12, 128 Sydney. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, great kick there by Luke McDonald. Just rolled around quickly on his left and thumped it probably 55 metres, but that's what they need to do. They need to get back quick, as we see here again on the Harvey Norman replay. By getting back quick and banging it in, it ended up a one-on-one contest. Even though Sydney had plenty of numbers inside their D50, that contest, that marking contest between McCartan and the big man, it was a one-on-one contest.
Yeah, Paddy will be disappointed. Paddy McCartan disappointed with that. That's an easy ball to spoil. Just landed in Big Goldie's breadbasket.
Probably needed to get some separation, Duck, on the contest. Yeah. Decided to sort of wrap up and wrestle with Goldie. Tough to spoil like that. There's a long high ball. Probably need to just separate from Goldie and then take a run and jump at it and spoil it.
Well, that will work if he can clunk a few Big Goldie and then come back into the centre bounce. And extraordinary decision. It just makes no sense. A ruck free kick against Todd Goldstein, and it's just confusing. Both ruckmen had no idea. Bell swoops onto it. He should score from here. Bell bending it back, and they get the quick reply. James Bell scores, and the Sydney Swans strike back on the back of a very dubious ruck free kick.
You're the ruckman in this conversation, Duke. Explain, what's Goldie meant to do? If the bounce of the ball goes over to the Sydney side of the circle, what are you meant to do?
I think it's a lack of understanding from the umpire in that he has no other option. He was called for a shepherd, but the art of ruck work is to actually get your opponent away from the ball. Yeah. So he put his arm out. He did that fairly. He's got a strength and size advantage, and he blows the whistle. Both ruckmen look at each other, and just confusing.
Yeah, it is. It happens every week, though, Darcy.
It's a dog's breakfast, that rule.
And we do not know which way it's going to go. Every time I pick the wrong way.
Yeah, you're not allowed to walk across the line of the drop of the ball in a centre bounce.
Well,
so he walked across,
throw it up.
And he used his forearm to push the Sam Reid under it and then tapped it. You're not allowed to do that for some reason.
So we're back in the middle. Vaughan Francis.
The answer to that, Bernie, is if you do that and you win the ball, then that should be allowed. If you do that and the ball is not in the vicinity, that's a free kick.
Like a marking contest,
correct.
You're saying, They only pay it in the centre bounce, though. They don't pay it around the ground.
Goldie stretches away from Reid and takes a mark at half forward. Now he thumps a long one. Inside 50. Sherry at the ground level. It's Marnie. Flicks it up, and Flynn Perez has a snap-on goal, but I think this is Sydney for incorrect disposal. The Swans get some relief in their back half. 2-2-14 Sydney, 2 straight 12 North Melbourne.
Kangaroos fans will be happy with the effort and the intensity. Early stages of this game, about the halfway mark of the first term here at the SCG. So Swans by a couple of points. Overlap run provided out of defence. Here's Bart, who's wandered all the way up to half back. does a lot more of this duck, it seems, in the late part of his career.
Well, he uses the footy so well. Like, look at that. His field kicking is really, really
It's
good.
elite, isn't
Still
it?
going, yeah.
Goulden, and then he gets on his bike bar and he sprints down. He looks in great shape at the moment from outside 60. Once again, there's the field kicking on display. Could not have put that any better for Sam Reid. Should have marked it. Haywood, Hayden Core, the former Giant, back there. Nice pick up from Goldie. Got it to Horn Francis, the young gun. Sends it out high and wide, but it's going to come back. Mark taken by Braden Campbell.
He got the left foot cannon.
Oh, wow.
Campbell, instead of that, he tried to just bite off a little chippy one. That wasn't going to work. Zeeble. Handball for Larkey. Releases Taylor. Centre of the SCG. Nice ball movement to half forward. And Kane Turner gets on the end of that. Short one now to McDonald, who can have a long look if he wants. He does, but he just snuck it in. No, out of bounds on the full. Missed by a long way.
The other reason why you come up the ground, like just to get your hands on the footy as well, Das. Generally, the defender lets you go up because they're structurally setting up behind the footy. So just an easy way to get a bit of the pill.
Probably the beauty of Buddy is that his man does tend to come with him, and that frees up some space for Reid and others in the forward fifth. That was a late hit on McDonald from Reid. Probably should have been 50, and now under pressure, McDonald's kicked it out of bounds on the full. So that's a big turnaround there, and a little bit going on with Lockie Young taking on Sam Reid. Probably out of his weight division, I would suggest.
Not with any great conviction either.
He attacked Reid, nearly went down himself.
Bounced off him. Rampy. Now Campbell, as I said, can get that raking left foot rolling. He goes inside to Mills, and Mills, that's too easy. And that's what we talked about with the setup behind the footy. That transition is way too easy.
Yeah, and there's no excuse there. That was a slow play. It was the ball was kicked out on the full, and it was almost inside 50 where that went on the full. That gives the team time to set up. Now, can't see behind the goals. I'm not sure if there's any instruction, but at least the mids should be pushing up the ground. That was the transition through the middle of the ground was just too easy from Campbell to Mills to Buddy. That's a real concern for North.
Buddy now from long range. He loves it from here. The strike's good, but it's going to miss by a long way and out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, you're right, Bernie, but it's also it wasn't perfect play because the ball actually was out in front of Mills. He had to run onto that footy, so they had time there as well.
Sydney Swans 2-point leaders on the Beacon Trade scoreboard. Just under 9 minutes remaining in this first term. Kick out from North Melbourne to the wing. McInerney's there. Mills flicked it out of bounds, and that was the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, JB. Supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams, huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
So just to talk through that a little more, Bern. Melbourne, now you got the best team and the worst team.
Yep.
But Melbourne never have the ball transition like that against them, ever.
What they do, they create great depth on their spare or their deepest defender. They create depth. So I saw them live Thursday night. They even have a +2 at times. If their opponents keep going up, they just create a really good look behind the ball, which slows. If there's a bit of free play coming through the middle of the ground like there was, it makes it a ball carrier make a decision. Yeah. They have to go wide or create an extra handball, which invites pressure on the ball through the middle of the ground. So that's why they're getting cut up so well.
Stevenson's ball was too hot for Zerha. And dribbles out of play, out of side. Yes, Ash?
Yeah, just defending ball movement from D50 to inside 50. North ranked 16th defensively. Last year they were 15th. They're allowing opposition teams to go at 28%. Sydney already going at 43.
2-2-14 Swans, 2 straight North Melbourne. So they're hanging in the Kangaroos against a quality opponent in the early stages. Thought Heaney might have been taken high. Didn't matter. He got it to Warner. Lloyd. And McInerney. A little one for Mills. Campbell has a bounce. The corridor available. The kick to Bud was good, and he's got it 50 from home.
When you've got time and space like that, just that lead up. And he shanked the last one, so you expect him to correct, given that the man's kicked 1,000 goals. Darcy generally doesn't. He's got some form. Muck 2 up in a row.
But that's too easy again, through the middle of the ground. That's a training drill. You don't miss them at training, and this is the pressure on that footy there was a training drill. Earlier, just about 5 minutes ago, the pressure rating quite good from North, 192. In the last 5 minutes, dropped to 178.
That struck better.
Bang.
Right through the guts. First goal of the day for Buddy Franklin, third for the Swans. 3-2, 20 to 2 straight 12. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, the last 5 or 10 minutes been a real concern for North. There's just no pressure on the footy. Actually, their average this year, they're ranked 14th in the opening 3 rounds, going at 174. But today, only 5 or 6 minutes ago, which I mentioned, going at 192. So better than AFL average, which is why they're in the game. Last few minutes, they've dropped to 132, which is just, that is why it looks like a training drill through the middle of the ground. They need to put more pressure on the footy and create pressure going inside 50, because Buddy Franklin will just chop you up all day, and Sam Reid and all the forwards up there, it's too easy.
Duck, it looks like his kicking action's almost got more relaxed with age, but he's timing them as well as ever.
Yeah, well, he hasn't lost any distance, has he?
Yeah, which you normally do, don't
Yeah.
you? At the latter stage of your career, he struck that beautifully. Kicked it all of 55 plus with ease. A lot of numbers around this for the Swans. Good pressure coming in. Perez was involved, and the Kangaroos have been able to just force this ball forward of their centre. It'll be thrown up now at half forward.
Low numbers, Das. Low numbers for the Kanga midfielders.
Yeah, those mid, Simpkin 2, Greenwood 2 and LDU just the 2.
Perez in there again. And back the other way, Rampy, the non-preferred, shinned it forward. Bosanova Lagi's out there, former Magpie. Perez again's been involved in a lot. He was well tackled though. That was Warner had hold of him. Will be thrown up again. Slightly in attack for the Kangaroos. 8-point margin. Sydney have got 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
On Buddy, 1,000 goal kicker. Hawke last night kicks 5. That gets him to 678.
Yeah.
Still 320 goals behind.
I read that stat that came up on the TV last night, and I was thinking, wow, we all think Tommy Hawkins is a star. He is a star.
He is a star, exactly.
But, jeez.
Davies Uniacke inside 50. Bodies come crashing at the footy. Campbell did well to squeeze it out into the path of Mills. Also there, the big bull Zerha just put some nice body lick on him. But the footy's over.
Puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Of just what a champion Buddy Franklin's been for a long period of time. Even a Jack Rewalt, who has kicked big bags of goals, hasn't he? Each year been up around the top 2 or 3 in the Coleman. What's his
716? He's
yeah, so still a long way back.
He's in a category of his own. Buddy Franklin. Warner brings it away. Steers it nicely for Hayward out of side. Just starting to get a hold of this a little bit, the Swans. Hayward. Long ball inside 50. Out the back, Heaney. Also Mackay. Reid with him, getting real nervous.
Every time.
Reid takes it. They just arrive eventually in number the North defence, and Scott might have earned himself a free, has he? Yes, he has. Bailey Scott. So 5 and a bit left in this first term. 3-2, 20 to 2 straight 12. It's the Swans by 8 points.
Son of Duck's teammate, Rob Scott, premiership teammate of yours, Duck.
Yep.
Wonderful small forward.
Very good player. Scotty could play anywhere.
Free kick going North's way here at half back.
Started under Gary Ablett's feet for a
Geelong.
long time.
Stevenson's called for it.
An interesting haircut, Scott, didn't he? Robert Scott.
A military cut, wasn't it?
A flat top.
A flat top. Flat top.
Horn Francis initially wrapped up. Paddy McCartan back there. It's been taken away by Zerha. Inside 50 go the Kangaroos. Pretty good contest was given by Kane Turner, and out of bounds will be thrown in the forward 50 arc for North Melbourne. They trail by 8 points. Sydney Swans 3-2, 20. North 2 straight 12 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Almost like a hedge out the front of your house, that sort of haircut. Flared out at the top.
Ball in. Sherry to the back. Taylor. Simpkin. Didn't really get good connection on that at all. McCartan was down there, Paddy, with goalie, and it's out of play. You got the gap, he's called Floss, Paddy, but they reckon in Sydney they've called him Mattress. The gap's that wide, they reckon he could floss his teeth with a mattress.
Come on.
Big gap, look at it.
Oh, jeez. You can see it for a long way out.
Yep. Ball in deep for North. Very shallow ball in. Sherry able to get it down. Kane Turner diving with the footy, but not really finding a teammate with the ball. Swans hemmed in. Now they thump a long ball down the outer side, but it's going to be marked by my man Plugs.
Yes. Big Josh Walker sends a high ball. Good luck marking that one. They'll need some flyers. They got them front and centre. Crum was on offer. Marnie got it back to Simpkin to the goal square. Goldstein. Now there's he's got a miracle goal. Had no right to be anywhere near that footy, Cam Zerha. It was ridiculous what he did.
Jeez.
Landed back in his lap. Kicked one of the great goals of the year, Cam Zerha. And North Melbourne back to within 2 points. Triple M Beacon Trade score.
What was he attempting there, the Zoo?
I don't know what he was attempting, but what he did do in the process, he made it realistic. He came back and he actually took 2 Sydney players out, as we see on the Harvey Norman replay. He just fly kicked the lizard in the goal square in the back. I guess fly kicked him and thought, I'm the only man here. Why don't I pick it up and kick an easy goal?
Wasn't a happy lizard at the end, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Looking at the Harvey Norman replay screen, you're right, he kicked his leg out and pushed Blakey under the footy. You'd almost say it was unrealistic.
Yes, it looked
attempt
he
at the mark.
He touched the ball though, didn't he, on the way down? Probably saved it.
I think he lost a bit of his tail, the lizard. You know how they can get the tail come off? They've got to regenerate.
A drop tail.
To him.
Little drop tail.
Yes, as here comes Davies Uniacke out of the middle. Long again, inside 50, but a very poor ball, although Tommy McCartan dropped what he normally would have taken. That might allow Larkey in around the body. That's not good. Oh, it might have been a touch ball, wasn't it?
Hang on.
Fitty.
Jack Zeeble saying it was touched.
So is David Noble.
Noble thought it was touched. I think the umpire might have said touched. Anyway, it's 50.
That's stiff, isn't it? Jack Zeeble looked at the umpire. Well, I think one umpire's called it touch. The other one said, nah, it's 50.
Wouldn't it be fair if the other umpire that called touch spoke up and said, yeah, sorry, I've stuffed that up?
I think he's thrown Zeebs right under the bus, that umpire. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. Rampy to the edge of 50. Goldie's back there with a defensive fist, charging at it. McInerney, who got cleaned up. Some numbers back here for North Melbourne. Young dispossessed. Hall under pressure. Just slams it out of there. Bouncing ball on the wing. Larkey went at it full-chested. Crashing through Zerha. He's got a head of steam up.
Didn't he?
Love the way he attacks the ball.
Zoo,
mongrel punt. Good luck getting your hand on that, North Melbourne forwards.
Let's see how they defend the ground here, because they've turned the footy over.
Kennedy taken in a very good McDonald tackle.
Well done.
The Mac Daddy. Not known for his goal-kicking, Ash.
He'll have a shot.
No, he's not JB. 5 goals, 11 from set shots.
And he just pops this one to the top of the square. Sherry was there. There's the lizard just going this way and that way, and now he's heading out wide. Blakey with a steered ball that gets past Goldstein. Perez arches the back. Goes back to Goldie by hand and just got to hoist a left footer inside 50. Good mark taken by Sherry in the pocket. I say good mark, simple mark, but he's got it about 25-30 out, tightish angle.
The resting ruckman's causing a bit of havoc up forward, isn't it, for North Melbourne? So Goldie take a good contested mark earlier, and he was actually the kicker on that occasion, just kicked it in long. And Sydney, they've got a great ability to get numbers back inside their D50, so just putting it up long and high and creating a contest, but Zeri was able to take the mark there.
Sherry's kick is good. North hit the lead, 4 straight to 3-2. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, just looking at a couple of Sydney defenders on the Harvey Norman replay screen, they're playing back shoulder, but getting called out a couple of times, aren't they?
Carton again it was.
Yep.
Paddy variety, the mattress. But, yeah, again, see, 2-on-1, just having a look at the Harvey Norman replay, that was actually a 2-on-1 contest in Sydney's favour. That high long ball like that, that should be spoiled. The lizard almost cut McCartan off and didn't allow him to spoil, but if you're there, don't you create more of a contester?
Yeah, Ruckman shouldn't be running past the lizard either.
Nah.
Blakey, that is, we're talking about.
I tell you, the tail came off and he's lost his mojo, the lizard.
They drop the tail, don't they, Jim?
They do.
So then the bird attacks the tail
and they
them.
can get away.
And
that's exactly what
maybe that's what he's done. Drop the tail and he's not actually there.
No doubt about it.
Tell you what, Horse Longmire, he might come off a long run, I reckon, Horse, quarter time. These are the games where coaches lose their mind. And he knows that North Melbourne have provided a contest, and maybe they get a bit of confidence and get rolling. Good start. They're in front here, North Melbourne, 4 points. Took over a minute remaining in the first quarter. Joey Kennedy's handball was a little bit loose, and now he's got to go back and fight hard for it. Campbell came through. Davies Uniacke involved, but well done, Florent. Although he sold his teammate into some trouble. Horn Francis was really good. Stevenson, Davies Uniacke stepped through, almost Chris Judd-like with the hips there.
Well, hello.
Horn Francis.
You said almost.
Almost.
As Hall competes, and they'll get a boundary throw in, Kangaroos. And Hall's got up with a bit of venom after the contest, two-man.
Positives for North. They're +2 in contested ball. They got belted by 39 last week. In last 10 minutes, their pressure's at 225.
He's given a free away here, Hall.
Well, he kept whacking him in the chest, throwing his elbow back, so unnecessary.
Silly. Warner just gave him a little bit to go on with after it went out of bounds, but it's always the retaliator that gets done.
Short one to Mills, who then pumps a high one to a very dangerous spot. Josh Walker, Plugs had it and lost it. Now it's Heaney, walked into the Scott tackle. Lots of players around the ball. Rowbottom was one of them. Stevenson. Long and direct down the middle. Davies Uniacke always wants to take the tackler on, and that's gone. He's spun about 4 times. And now it's going to be a short one to Buddy. Mackay with him. Bud's already got one if you're just joining us. Perez, Zerha. Ball bounces for the Zoo, out of side.
He'd hit a target here.
He's got nothing ahead of him, I don't think, so he's just got to go long and see if someone can come at the footy. And it was McCartan in the end able to come across and take a nice mark. So that's quarter time. 3-2 20 Sydney, 4 straight 24 North. Unlikely quarter time leaders at the SCG. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M Rocks Footy.
kick off game day with Macca's Chicken Deluxe range. Order via McDelivery. From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M Rocks Footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
Have you ever surfed?
Remember, I had my midlife crisis and bought the wetsuit and the big mini mal and everything. And once I saw myself in the wetsuit, I thought, I don't know. As I waddled down to the water's edge, 3 or 4 guys were trying to roll me back into the water. I'm like, I'm fine. They were throwing buckets of water on me and putting wet towels on my face.
Shamoo! The Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
There are people who prefer chicken McBites, others McNuggets, and some McPieces. But thanks to the spicy, sticky barbecue sauce within the Chicken Deluxe Share Pack, all 3 have common ground. Chicken and Macca's, together and loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Available after 10:30am for a limited time only.
Beloved doggies, it's true. I haven't seen every minute of every Bulldogs game. I didn't even know it was possible. To watch every game live with no ad breaks in play. No ads. Wow. But I have KO now. Bontempelli! And finally I see what I've been missing. Bailey! Please forgive me. Your biggest fan, Gary.
Never miss a moment of the team you love with KO Sports.
I just love you guys.
50 years ago, the Rolling Stones released their most iconic record, Exile on Main Street. Now the Rolling Stones Review, starring Adelaide from Magic Dirt, Tex Perkins of The Cruel Sea, and Tim Rogers of UMI perform Exile on Main Street along with a set of their Rolling Stones greatest hits. At the Palais Theatre, Friday, 2nd of September. The Rolling Stones Review. Tickets on sale now from Ticketmaster.
There's a lunch in LA, a New York City tour, and an East Coast road trip waiting for you. Rediscover the world with Allianz. Travel insurance with overseas medical benefits on comprehensive policies. Search Allianz Travel Insurance today. Insurance issued by AWP Australia for the insurer Allianz. Terms, conditions, limits and exclusions apply. Any advice is general only. Check the PDS and TMD before buying. Contact Allianz for a copy.
It's value the Australian way this Easter at Coles. And to help make your Easter shopping easier, we've added thousands of extra home delivery windows and thousands of extra click and collect windows. Shop online at coles.com.au.
We're for greater footy every day. Enjoy all your footy news with digital access to the Herald Sun for just $1 for the first 28 days. Subscribe today. Search Herald Sun offer. Conditions apply.
Ultimate Wood Heaters and Illusion Gas Log Fires Red Hot Fire Sale. We're on fire with Australian-made wood heaters from $7.99. Gas Log Fires from a smoking $19.99. Ultimate and Illusion, Dandenong, Epping and North Geelong. illusionfires.com.au.
From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Quarter time, the SCG, North Melbourne, 4 straight 24. Sydney Swans 3-2-20. Entertaining start to this game, and a credit to the Kangaroos, Bernie Mintz, Wayne Carey, who are on the back of a 100-point smashing last week, and you'd have to say very competitive first up effort in the first quarter from the North Melbourne Footy Club.
Oh, look, the effort's there. They've kicked a couple of goals from their ruckman, which is very surprising because it's not like they were on their own or they didn't have a defender on them. Those balls could have easily been spoiled. So I think it might be a little bit of Sydney's lack of real hunger or defence on their part rather than North Melbourne's good work, and that's taking nothing away from North.
Honestly thought you were about to say it's not like they're Simon Madden. I thought that's where you were going.
No, well,
normally you would.
It's very true, but and Blakey,
very true.
And Blakey's been involved in a couple of those instances. I don't know whether they've gone about targeting he's on, but it just seems like there's a bit there, Das, with young Blakey.
Yeah, off the back of good pressure too from North Melbourne. I mean, the average pressure rating is 180, and they went at 192 that quarter, and they had that little patch where they were down at 132, a little 10-minute period, so that's including that, obviously. So they've just brought their pressure, and this is what we expected, a bit of a response, didn't we, from North Melbourne, and there's no better way to do it than pressure around the footy.
For Bob Jane T-Marts, buy 3, get 1 free, instant cashback, Bridgestone, Yokohama, Goodyear, Dunlop, and the legendary all-rounder bobjane.com.au. Let's get down to Luffy.
Yeah, Darsh, you'll probably be disappointed that John Longmire didn't actually speak to the playing group for very long at all, and he certainly wasn't irate, which I thought he would be. But one thing I did notice, I'm not sure if you guys have seen much of it before, the midfield group spent nearly half of that quarter watching videos on a laptop of some of the ruck contests. I've actually never seen that before.
Thanks, Luffy. 4-point lead North. He's down on the boundary, Big Horse. I think Don Pikes kicked him out of the box.
He has. I thought Luffy was
perforated eardrum.
I thought Luffy was going to go with rock concerts then for a sec on the iPads.
In comes Taylor, and he's taken instantly in the Florent tackle. And we've got a ball up, centre of the ground. It's talking about a response from North Melbourne. You've got to expect that there'll be a response from Sydney. That ball's touched. Pushed in the back, Marnie, I reckon.
Blakey.
He's not having a great day, the lizard.
He hasn't.
Yep, it's the detailing of him.
Just got a full look at the setup.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Marnie called to go and just goes high and long. Sherry, bottom of all of that. It's fisted away from him. And Florent gave it to Mills, two very good players. Mills fans it wide in search of Reed. Plugs is out there as well. And it's taken over. So a ball in out of side.
A change in this game was Wicks came out with the health and safety protocols, and Bell was the late inclusion. Kicked the goal in the first quarter. With James Bell now on the wing. Cherry and Laddams. Rowbottom managed to get it in the Mills direction, but well tackled by Greenwood. Horn Francis was looking for Bailey Scott, but Rowbottom's follow-up work was really well done. And now Buddy out the back. He's got his name written all over that. No way that was going to be defended by Mackay. And Bud about 15 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Outstanding play out in the wind.
Play on.
Bud's had a brain fade.
What's he done?
I could see in his body language as soon as he marked that, because Mackay grabbed him, I thought, he's going to try and be cheeky here, Bud, and play on. And And he invariably did. And to Mackay's credit, he was alert.
It's just got too close to the man on the mark, but it's been smothered and ricocheted out of bounds.
He tried to use the ump as a decoy too.
He does. He's done that his whole career.
Yeah. Laddams, Mills. He got a little bit of pressure as he had the snap on goal, and that's either out in the full or behind. It's out in the full. Just a bit messy, Sydney. They're in the game, so the Swans fans listening don't need to get concerned, but they're just a bit messy. As Hall brings it away and goes down the members' side of this magnificent SCG stadium, and Davies Eniac has it thumped away from him by Lloyd, and a ball in.
That's exactly what North Melbourne want this game to be. They want it to be messy. They want it to be ugly and try and drag Sydney down to sort of their level. But they're matching him in the pressure rating, which is a really good positive.
Pete Laddams is one of the more interesting-looking units playing the game. He's got a real sort of slippery appearance.
Slippery.
Yeah. I want you to have a close look at him, Bernard. He's got a very weird bonce and sort of whole setup.
Tattoos.
Tats.
Yeah.
Moustache. He's got, like, I reckon, some frosting in the hair.
Yeah.
But the rest of his hair is almost black, so it sort of looks really sort of strange.
Sort of a Cadbury.
Yeah, it is.
The white top.
He has. He's got this little bit at the front. McInerney.
Top deck.
Back. It is exactly what it is. As Mills now.
What do I call it? White top.
Raking ball. Looking for Reid. Hayward. Good player. Takes it on the wing. Handball. Lloyd has to go back to Cunningham. He has to go back to Hayward.
Better from North Melbourne. Pressure through the midfield, middle of the ground. That was what we're seeing in that first quarter, in that 10-minute period. They were just waltzing through there. So really positive signs from North.
Max Ebel up for the contest. Never had to doubt that with that man. 14th year at North Melbourne.
So we've got patchy tats. I'm getting a close look at him now, Jim.
Look at him.
They're spaced, the tattoos.
Yep. This is Laddams we're talking about. I reckon he's a good pickup for Sydney Swans, a big man. He's a reasonable competitor. This is Bell, who's got it at half forward. Franklin, I think Buddy's got a feeling he could really load up here this afternoon if he gets enough clear ball. Bailey Scott in defence, dry. Francis, jeez. That was close to something extraordinary. He's a ball of muscle, the young fella, isn't he? And we saw the power in the leap then was something special.
That was nearly a Mark of the Year contender.
Oh, that's big.
That.
Well done by Mills to stay in the contest.
It was. Well, you do hear, I haven't seen enough of him, Duck, but you do hear early comparisons with the great Malcolm Blight. Now, I know you're talking about one of the all-timers, but just in game style, not in career or anything like that. And you can see it when he jumps at the footy like that.
I'd love to get Blighty's opinion on that.
Oh, no, we wouldn't ask Blighty.
Don't go there.
It's purely in sort of size and mid-forward, playing and all that. As we've got a ball up, I think, inside North's forward 50.
Well, I've heard a few different comparisons. There's a Dangerfield comparison too. Someone had as well.
I'll tell you, we don't need to say anything. If North Melbourne get anywhere close to what they got out of Malcolm Blight, they'll be delighted. He was a superstar.
Scotty Clayton's pre-season line was the best of his. I hate it when people compare players. It's unfair. But he's part Michael Voss, part Paddy Dangerfield, part Dustin Martin. Quote unquote.
Come on, Scotland.
Couldn't have put more pressure on the young man.
Oh, my goodness. Walker and Reid and the ball's out of play.
All the good parts of those three.
Yeah, that's a reasonable combination, isn't it?
Come on, Scotty.
Jason Horne-Francis, just his fourth game from South Australia. It's a pretty relaxed horse. Ground level. Side trails by 4 points, early stage of second term. Parker.
Not sure what Parker's doing then. He's sort of walk with the ball.
Mark. It was from a rucket out. He's lost his mind there, Luke Parker. North Melbourne free kick, and Jack Siebel has been infringed here, I reckon.
He's having an impact, Jack Siebel, isn't he? Around the ground, he's leading up at the footy, kicked the first goal of the game, but I like him forward. He's obviously been playing back for the last couple of years, getting plenty of the footy back there, but these are the possessions that hurt you. Shots at goal inside 50.
Kicked the first goal of the game, did Zeebs, and have a look at the Harvey Norman replay here, and had his body retarded unfairly behind the carton. So the first goal of the game to Zeeble. You get a second one here. Kangaroos will be feeling pretty good about their start to this game. Jack Zeeble, been the captain since 2017, got some right to left bend, didn't it? Like a beautiful draw in golf that was. Zeeves has got a couple. North Melbourne out by 10 points on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Almost Jordan Dawson like last week. I know Jordan Dawson's a left footer, but it went right to left really late and just came. I thought he pushed it too far to the right, but he knew what he was doing. He aimed just outside that right post and let it work its way back. But that's a few one-on-one contests now that Paddy McCartan's lost inside his D50 and just giving free kicks away or just allowing access for his opponent at the footy. So just needs to change things up a little bit. Maybe start playing, likes to play from behind, maybe start in front, change things up.
Just with Horn Francis leading ball winner for the Kangas, 10 disposals, but also throwing 5 clearances. Jeez. And has laid the most number of tackles with 4.
5 straight 30, Sydney 3-2-20, sluggish the Swans on home soil. It's a recall bounce. North Melbourne trying to notch up win number 2, and Swans really from here will be eyeing it. Certainly a finals berth and hoping for something even greater. Greenwood. Simpkin, long ball, inside 50. Big climb at it again from Zeeble. Marnie.
High contact, Sydney.
And Sydney get a high contact free. Might be going to Paddy McCartan, I reckon it is.
Deep in defence. Great story this, isn't it, Paddy McCartan? Back out in AFL field. His younger brother Tom slides that one down to half back. James Bell's got it. 10-point lead to the Kangaroos, not 15. You heard the call immediately, and now it's sold the Swans defenders into a little bit of panic. Rampy back there with all his experience. Campbell will load up with that powerful left foot, looking for Hayward in front. Good mark taken by Aidan Corr, genuine centre back.
His foot trodden on there, Aidan Corr, but gets up, slots it to Horn Francis. Point of the square, half back. A slow ball because there's not a lot to go to. He measures a nice one to Goldstein out wide. Todd Goldstein thought about going inboard and then thought better of it. Down the line. Oh, yeah! Big climb from the Zoo. He couldn't stick it either, so a couple of attempts at a big clunker. In this quarter, one from Horn Francis, one from Zurha. Neither of them taken in the end. Now Laddams. That's not a great ball, although Hall got a fingertip to it. And then Buddy Franklin was taken in a very good Mackay tackle.
Do you know what I reckon's happened, Bern and Duck? Last night down at Geelong, they were not playing the holding the ball rule that we were told pre-season was going to be. I reckon there's been a memo go to the umpires.
We're
going to get back onto that, and they are red hot on it so far in this game.
Yep, good observation, Darcy. I totally agree, because they got away from it after round 1, didn't they?
Really sharpened it up tonight. Here's Goldstein. Players got to adjust to this. Goldie's got some space. Driving kick, beautiful ball. And Zeebel's presented perfectly.
What's he been doing back there, Jim? This is Wayne Carey.
Like Peter Hudson.
And he'll aim it at the right post again. I'm not sure whether there is any breeze down there, Luffy, but that last one did come back a fair way, didn't it?
So he struck the last one perfectly, Jack Zeeble. This is for goal number 3.
Right post.
Let's see what he does, Zeebs. He sticks it out there, but that time it almost went the other way. So minus score to the North Melbourne captain. They've got an 11-point lead on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. Let's get down to Luffy, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Duck, there is actually a bit of wind, and it would have favoured Zeebel's kick there because it is blowing to the right end of the dial and blowing straight through the goals.
Blakey runs away, has a bounce, and then kicks a low one, almost straight to Hall. Jeez. Marnie to a dangerous spot. Oh, here comes Eaves and gets a little partial decapitation.
Fitty.
And it'll be a fitty. Tommy McCartan nearly ripped his bonce off. And Jack Zeeble now will kick his third.
Stay up, please.
So, third goal for Zeeble. Sixth goal for North Melbourne. 6-1-37 to 3-2-20. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
And it's the centre clearances that they're on top as well, Jim. What is it, 6-2?
Spot on.
North Melbourne's way. So they're getting the ball in there and trapping it in. And dare I say it, but Blakey involved. The short 50 to 50 that got spoiled. Tried to follow up his work with a pressure tackle, but it was too late. If you're in doubt, go long to a 50-50 rather than a short 50-50.
Might have found his home, Jack Zeeble, I reckon.
Yeah.
No, Burn.
He looks good, doesn't he?
Yep.
Leading out of the footy. He's just in the right spots. Obviously got good footy smarts. But the comparison I made, Duck, because he's leading out, kicking goals. He's a captain of the footy club. Same thing.
I know.
I just didn't really like his response too much. But
No, he didn't.
no, he
Want any of it,
just
Duck,
chuckled.
did
He went, I think it was a...
Just don't use it on you.
No, I won't use that.
17-point lead to North Melbourne. The start is Stevenson. Here they come again, the Kangaroos. Flicks it to Simpkin. Went to the voice out wide. Bell came crashing in. Curtis Taylor was the intended target. And Boston Avalagi was there as well. It'll be a boundary throw in. Might have been a free kick off the ball here. Joey Kennedy's cleaned up Luke McDonald unnecessarily.
He has.
Free kick North Melbourne.
Silly things creeping in for the Swans here. Just uncharacteristic of them. Always so disciplined normally. This quarter alone, inside 50, 6 for 2 goals, 1 for North Melbourne, and just the 2 to Sydney.
Marnie.
Another one here.
Larkey gets it back to Marnie, who went without it. Cunningham was good to Lloyd. Lloyd thumps a long one down the line. It's a fist away there from Plugsy Walker. Kennedy tried to slap it into the path of Mills.
Holding the ball. Good.
A holding the ball decision will come against McLean. So they are bringing the heat.
They are.
No doubt about
They're
that.
on a run here.
McDonald long for Larkey. Got hands to it. Should have stuck it, actually.
Should have.
And a very good look at that ball. And Rampy just has to dump a long one. And there is Hayden McLean taking a good mark.
Who had a 30-centimetre handball. He missed by a metre there. If that makes sense. Kennedy had to go back and get it. And he's dumped that out of bounds on the full. This is very un-Sydney Swan-like. What we're seeing, unforced errors. And North Melbourne got to take some credit. Put them under the pump. Bailey Scott now from half-back. Drives it as long as he can, looking for Goldstein at centre forward. Reed back there, it was well tackled. Marnie's tackle was pretty good on Campbell, and he slid in one possession, but it might be the dangerous take of the legs there against Marnie, and so the Swans will get a little bit of a breather here. Braden Campbell in half-back, but they're off their tucker a bit here, Sydney.
Yeah.
They're a little bit rattled in this game. Buddy trying to force his way into it. Scott picked it up, slapped away from him by Mills. Heaney, what can he do with all the skill in the class? Back to Florent, drives towards the goal square. Which way will it bounce? It goes through for a minor score. So Sydney go to 3-3-21. Kangaroos are 6-1-37 on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
First score of this term for the Swans. About halfway through, so they're finding it hard to get dangerous forward of the centre circles. Young.
Just their third inside 50, Jim.
Long wide he goes. Goldie and McCartan. Greenwood went to ground. McDonald got it back to Greenwood by hand, and now Simpkin, or was it Taylor? It might have been Taylor. And out of play.
Yeah, North's tackling, so they've been averaging only 25 tackles in the half this season. They've already racked up 28, and we're only halfway into the second quarter.
Ball in right in front of the interchange gate. 3-3-21. Sydney 6-1-37. North Melbourne to the front. Sherry. Now Heaney gets it from Mills. Stretches away on the left. High one to half forward. Front and centre Golden.
Another good tackle.
And he can't get past either Walker or Core.
They're very quick on the whistle, though, aren't they? The umpires.
Your man Plugsy was nowhere near that tackle.
No, how he's ended up with his ball.
Claimed the Sharon.
Probably don't want it in his hands
you
either.
don't want it.
Hayden McCall looked around at him and said, "You're kidding, ain't you?"
Paul laid the tackle. The Harvey Norman showed us that.
Well, it's okay if it's a gun kick that's going to hit someone up inside, but Plugsy's probably not the man you go to.
Reed's taking the mark on the wing in front of the interchange race here at the SCG. The ground bathing in sunshine. Joey Kennedy, the handball was smothered. Greenwood had a fresh airy. Aidan McLean got it to Mills. Now Rowbottom. Beautiful smother down there. It was Perez, the youngster. That kick, barely 15. Waters claimed the mark at centre forward.
Not looking to pass it off, though.
This is the young man who kicked the ball to Bud for his 1000th goal. He'll never forget that moment. Now he's decided to have a little bit of a look. Directly in front. It's about a 52-metre kick, I reckon, for Chad Warner. Opens up the ankle and he almost a round-the-body type of kick, and he struck it magnificently.
Good.
Sydney needed that badly. He gets their 4th goal, Chad Warner. 6-1-37 to 4-3-27. 10-point lead to the Kangaroos. Triple M Ijalica scoreboard.
First goal of the season to Chad Warner. Much improved player again this year, but the pressure on the footy again was good for North Melbourne, as we see on the Harvey Norman replay. That was a ricochet off a smothered entry inside 50 from Rowbottom, and it just sprung out to Cunningham, who lowered the eyes, and as you called it, Das, it was probably only just 15, if not a little bit less, but I don't know why he's looking to pass with a leg like that from outside 50, put it into the first row.
Now the Kangaroos pressure rating just under that 200 mark, and Sydney's just over 150, so certainly the Kangaroos have brought the pressure, but that was a really nice finish.
10-point lead for North Melbourne. And the bounce back in the middle sees Sherry parked under it. Laddams comes at him. Greenwood to Davies-Uniacke, and it's going to come back to the Swans. High contact free. He's going to Warner. And now it's going to come back and have to be kicked again.
He'd missed the target anyway. So
yeah, good result.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Greenwood who ripped Warner to the ground off the footy. So Chad Warner, long ball for Franklin. Mackay with him. Turner gets stripped of the ball. Bud to himself, and then he takes the tackler on. And he's gone.
They've loosened that rule, though. The chat back, the argue back, that was really tight in the first round.
But see that there. So Bud had broken the tackle, so therefore the tackle wasn't laid correctly. And the umpire paid it straight away. Gave him no time to...
And overcooked it the other way.
Overcooked it, yep.
Bosun Valagi, a short one, and now it's Davies-Uniacke still inside defensive 50. There was...
Red hot they are on the holding the ball.
There was a holding the ball against Danger last night that I still actually can't... I was driving home from Geelong, I still can't believe it. He won the footy at ground level, and as he won it, he was beset upon. Yep. And I'm like, how can that possibly be adjudged holding the ball?
Clearly been an instruction, hasn't it, this week?
Must be.
High ball to the wing. Kangaroos looking for Larkey. Tom McCartan wanted the boundary line, found it. They're calling for deliberate for North Melbourne mids, but the umpire's going to give them the benefit of the doubt, Duck.
And that's why the coaches always would watch the Friday night game to see what the trend for that week. I know they say they don't do it, but clearly there's been an instruction to be hotter on it.
No doubt the message has been sent via the SCG today. It was their focus pre-season. We all sat in the meetings. They've steered that holding the ball rule today, it seems. Off hands, Sam Reid through the interchange race, so it'll be thrown in on the wing. 7 minutes, 18 seconds until half-time. North Melbourne with a 10-point lead here on the Triple M Ijalica scoreboard. Ijalica, where good food deserves a great drop.
Clearly bringing effort, defensive effort.
Yeah.
That wasn't there last week. So win, lose or draw, if you're a fan of the Kangaroos, you're happier with what you're seeing. Scott back to Hall. Always wants to take players on ahead of him. Short ball to Sherry. Wants to give it back to Hall. That handball's missed by a metre and a half. Runs onto it, Hall. High and long. Goldstein trying to come back at the footy. At the back, Larkey lurking. Cunningham gets taken in a good tackle. Just release the footy. They keep it in now for Greenwood. Greenwood snap across the face. It's Turner slapping it to the big gold man. And in came Perez. Tried the flying scissor move. And came off his boot and out in the full.
Tristan Cherry's handball reminds me of when the Oz kicks on and the kid does that and you grab him aside and say, just come over here, young man. Teach you how to...
No, I think he thought to himself, I'm going to miss. I want to miss in front. He missed by a couple of metres.
Like the old windmill, isn't it? Tristan Cherry.
That's why the ruckman don't get involved in the change group. We say it all the time.
No, that doesn't help at all. Here's Big Mackay, the big defender.
It can't help your case, Das, when you try and stick up and say, well, we can kick, we can handball.
Kills you, Ben. Oh, beautiful ball. Should have been marked by Larkey. He's had a couple that normally got good hands. Swans defenders arrive. Here's Lloyd. Bailey Scott's one, a 50-50. Floats one back inside. Now Larkey again. He's,
come on, big Lark.
Get a handle on it.
How much better do you want him delivered?
Wow.
Where do you want him?
He's been their standout in the first few rounds too, Duck. Just can't.
He might have seen his name at the top of the Coleman and, you know.
It's turned his hands to bricks, you reckon?
You know.
The older Duck gets, the more Pago like.
Yes, it's just extraordinary.
I like the older you get, you know.
Greenwood under the bottom of a Sydney tackle.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
And we'll have the ball up. 5.5 left in this second term.
I wanted you to go there, Duck.
It's all clinging to a 10-point lead. Rowbottom. High and wide. Buddy Franklin, good mark, centre of the ground, and then the quick deliver to Warner, who wasn't quite ready for it. Now Rowbottom, long ball inside 50, great ball for Reid, got out the back. Quick ball movement, Sydney. Sammy Reid from almost directly in front, 45 from home.
Brilliant ball movement through the middle of the ground again. Not too much North Melbourne could have done there. It was Buddy who took the mark and actually gave the handball off to Warner under severe pressure. He was tackled immediately, but it was just weight of numbers. Sydney had runners going past. He was able to flick it out again and just over the back with that flat kick inside 50, exactly how the forward wants it.
So Reid should goal from here. He's dragged it left, has he? Now just took a bit of the woodwork. 4-4. 28 to 6-1-37.
Season, Sam Reid played 163 games. He's missed a lot of footy.
13th.
Missed 101 games that he could have played, Sam Reid. His best looks outstanding, but there's a gap there sometimes. Free kick's been picked out. Which way is it going? To Paddy McCartan on the wing. So it was the non-controlling umpire. Picked something out a fair way off the ball there. Goldstein a little unhappy with the way that panned out. This was going on everywhere at the moment. The Swans are going to go deep inside forward 50. Mills, McLean, got the arms right up there. Horne-Francis has been really good. Perez couldn't quite get hold of that ball that came from Horne-Francis. Hall under some pressure. This is deep in North Melbourne's defence. Picked it up pretty well in the end. Hall tumbles it. Out of defensive 50, charging at it.
Tackle.
That was magnificent on Campbell.
Ash is giving him the standing applause.
Sorry, shouldn't be barracking.
Stood up and started bowing.
Yes, he got a drawing there from the zoo, didn't he, after the tackle? Just had a bit of frontal pressure. Here comes Zurhaar again. He's just got intent to really hurt. Love Florent. Gets around Goldstein. Starting to go nicely here, the Swans. High ball almost for Hayden McLean, and he'll get a free.
When he flies, he doesn't look exactly natural when he flies for the ball in the air, does he? He looks a bit awkward. He landed a bit awkwardly there as well. But gets under the footy. If we look at the Harvey Norman, so nearly got under the footy too far, and he actually takes his eyes off the footy at the last minute because he's so far under it.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great point, Duck. Just seeing on the Harvey Norman replay, he almost needs to hold his position, then run at it late, doesn't he? But this last couple, he's trying to take over the back of his head almost.
As BT said, he's got a Mike Pike sort of look about him, Hayden McLean. But some beads, Bowie boy, and he steers that through. Couple in a row here for the Swans. Right back in at 5-4-34. North 6-1-37. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard.
He looks like he's got good hands.
Yeah,
it's the reading the flight of the footy, and I mean it sort of looks like he's ducking his head.
Yeah,
but he's not because it's the ball's actually past him almost.
Just about ball drop, isn't it? Protecting that ball drop because he actually had a mismatch. He was on Aaron Hall at 197 centimetres. McLean is against Aaron Hall, who's in at 185. If he just held his position, he's going to be way too strong for him in that contest. Protect the ball drop and fly for it, Duck, as you said.
Just some low numbers for the Swans, though. Heaney, only 6 disposals. #1 rated player for Sydney this year, 3 rounds in. And Parker, just a 5.
Two-man, the Triple M Reds End Lending Stats with the Chew. Last couple of goals go the way of the Sydney Swans. They're back within 3 points of North Melbourne. A few minutes, about 3:20 in fact, until the halftime siren. Laddams got over the top of Goldstein. Stevenson in there, merged with a footy, and then gained 1.5 metres, but a little bit clumsy, the Luke McDonald tackle. Had to be a free kick to Goulden. Just to go and does to Mills, who got off his marker. Callum Mills worked hard. He's still about 70 out from home. Where's Bard? He's got a one-on-one Braceland. Too big and too strong.
Great kick.
It was a good kick, Ben, wasn't it? Put it in the right spot for the champ.
Yep, Mackay was trying to play him from in front and slightly boundary side because Buddy was initially going to lead there, but then Mills just pulled the kick inside a little bit. Buddy was able to push him under the footy and work back onto it. That's a great kick, great connection from ball carrier to forward.
Not going to play on this time, Bud.
No, he's just taking his time.
Going to head back. He kicked goal 1003 in the first quarter. It's for 1004. He's steered at home. He's got a couple, Bud. 1004 career goals. 3 unanswered for the Sydney Swans. They get the lead back by 3 points, and that is all on the Triple M Ijalica scoreboard.
Not showing any signs of slowing down, is he, Buddy? When he initially went to Sydney on that big 9-year deal, little or to no people gave him any chance of potentially fulfilling that 9 years. But, I mean, this is his 9th year this year, isn't it? So he could potentially go on from here. He doesn't, still kicking goals, still a clear forward target, still getting up the ground, moving well, still got great distance on his kick. His accuracy's probably, if anything, improved. So he's still, for me, probably got another couple of years left in him.
3 in a row, as Duke said. Sydney have the lead back, 6-4 to 6-1. And Laddams has got to park himself under this. Sherry got it straight into the hands of Mills.
Another clearance, two-man for Sydney. What's the last little bit been?
7 out of the last 8 for the Swans.
Vaughan Francis won the footy, but his kick found Lloyd, who just got out of the Stevenson tackle. Now Davey Zuniak tries to go back to Horn Francis. Tumble it to half forward. Lots of Swans here, although Big Pete Laddams. Pete!
Forgot he was playing.
You just got to get the ability to match up with the expectation of your own ability, Duke.
Not ideal from Pete.
That didn't happen with Pete. Kick goes now in the Larky direction. He drops another one.
Soda.
That his hands were absolutely there. And they're bricks. He's taken his mitts off and put bricks on.
They're symbols.
Hands like fry pans, as the chief would say today. Larky.
Defender cold again. That was probably the most easiest one out of the lot.
Minute 21 until the halftime siren. North have been really brave in this first half. They'd love to sneak a late goal here. Going the lead, Zeeble. Was he pushed in the back? Umpire correctly said play on. Marnie over the top, Zerha, and they trap it in there. A little bit going on with the Lizard and Jack Zeeble. Fine play.
Just North's front half tackles have been averaging 22 per game. They've already racked up 22 nearing half time.
It's a good Triple M Red Z lending stat there, Chew, man. It's shown the intensity that they brought, and we hope they would, North Melbourne. Big lad, he's doing some interesting stuff down there. Not sure that he's what required. Horn Francis. Just exciting to see him out there, and he's gone back unconventionally 30 metres from centre forward.
That's like the under-14s where you don't know which way you're kicking.
I've done that.
Hall. There is Horn Francis. He is a good-looking kid. Gets and goes inside 50, looking for again Larky, who just cannot draw the ball at all. Out of play.
One of the first games I played against Adelaide, against my old team from Melbourne. Won the ball out of the middle and was involved in a few little fracas early. Got heated, forgot what way, took a 50-50 punt, wrong way.
Kicked it the wrong way.
50 metres too.
I think possession were on the ground, Horn Francis. I haven't noticed him that much.
Laddams, as we tick down to half-time, it's a decent game, which I've got to put my hand high and say I didn't think we'd get after last week. With the Kangaroos, the Swans, you know, are quality. They'll take a 3-point lead into half-time as McInerney gets around and then Mackay takes the mark, but that is it. 6-4-40 Sydney, 6-1-37 North Melbourne. On the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard, IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop. And for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Straight after this game, Triple M continues to rock footy.
Collingwood crowd, come alive.
Join the Temper Mattress call team for the Pies and Eagles. For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
Code is the ultimate sports site for AFL lovers. Get in-depth stories from the game's best writers, plus podcasts and videos. Personalise your feed with my code and go deeper into the footy at codesports.com.au.
Hi, Sam here from Our Van RV. Are you coming to the Melbourne Caravan Super Show? It's on now. Come and see us at Site 612 and you could get a free Grip Sport bike rack valued at $1,300. See ourvanrv.com.au for T's and C's.
Whoa, check this out. Bottom Art's giving away 5 content creator kits. Just pick up a specially marked Jack Daniels and Cola 10-pack for $42.99 and enter online.
Wow, you could win an Apple MacBook, a Canon digital SLR package, a premium drone with heaps of accessories, even a photography course.
They've also got my favourite beer on special. A 24-pack of Victoria Bitters, $49.99.
Great price. The comp ends soon though.
Way ahead of ya!
Good time start at Bottom Arts.
See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Download the app. Catalogue out now.
Cook with the world's best brands at Harvey Norman and receive bonus gift cards on selected cooking appliances valued over $299. Building, renovating, or just updating the heart of your home? Shop the very latest technology from the world's best cooking brands like Electrolux, Miele, AEG and Neff, Smeg, Fisher and Paykel, Bosch and Westinghouse. Our range also features Ariston and Falcon, Belling and Ilvy, Euromade and Glemgas. Create your dream kitchen now and receive bonus gift cards on selected cooking appliances. Limited time at Harvey Norman.
Go! Ultimate Wood Heaters and Illusion Gas Log Fires Red Hot Fire Sale. We're on fire with Australian-made wood heaters from $7.99. Gas Log Fires from a smoking $19.99. Ultimate and Illusion, Dandenong, Epping and North Geelong. illusionfires.com.au.
So I texted him back, I need the truth. I see you tapping on your phone in the morning, smiling ear to ear. You take your van on days I know that you're not booked for painting jobs and come back 8 hours later talking about holidays I thought we couldn't afford. His response, a van, a package and flexed arm emojis. What the hell does that mean?
Use your van to deliver packages with Amazon Flex. It's that something on the side you won't get in trouble for. Search Amazon Flex Vans and sign up now.
UFC 273 is here with featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski taking on the Korean Zombie tomorrow on Main Event. Available via Foxtel and KO. Pre-book now at mainevent.com.au.
Jess stands out at school for all the wrong reasons. She's the one standing alone in the uniform that doesn't fit, with shoes that are falling apart. She's the girl carrying her books in an old plastic bag. Jess just wants to fit in at school, but it's hard when her family's living in poverty. You can help children like Jess get the school essentials and learning support they need by becoming a sponsor through the Smith family. Please, sponsor an Australian child today. Search the Smith family.
From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools, 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, we're rocking footy at the SCG, and it's the Sydney Swans by 3 points at half-time. But North Melbourne were out by 17 points, halfway mark of that second term. And they have been pretty impressive, the North Melbourne Football Club. Can they sustain it, Bernie Vince, for a second half?
Yeah, well, I've loved what I've seen, and we're all coming here not knowing the response from North Melbourne, going down by 100 points last week, and it was a real queue in the rack type style, the way they lost. And it's been a great response. Their pressure has been really high. They've out-tackled them around the contest. Clearance-wise, they're going pretty well. So the pressure rating, I'll just give you an instance on the AFL average is 180. So North Melbourne at the moment going at 190. Their season average is in the 170s. So just and you talk about effort and being proud of your footy club. This is something. You can bring this every week. Effort and intensity around the footy. That's a choice thing, and they decided not to bring that last week, albeit against a very good side in Brisbane. But Sydney a very good side too, and very good in those areas we're talking about. So they've matched them, and if not matched them, they've actually taken it to them in that area. So just tackles as well. They're averaging 25 in their forward half on average, so they're up to 40 at the moment. So it's been I've just loved it. It's been a choice that they've made. They've decided to bring the intensity and effort, and they've taken it up to Sydney. They did just let themselves go. Probably the last 9 or 10 minutes, they let Sydney back into the game. It was all around the clearance. They got clearance into got the ball into their half, and they just dominated in that area, and that was why they were able to kick back and just hit the lead before half-time, Sydney. But to answer your question, can they bring it in the second half? Yes, they can, because they've proven they could do it in that first half. So they'll be just looking to reset, and the message from David Noble here will be just more of that, please, because he copped a bit of a whack after last week. He said, that was an embarrassing performance, and you don't want that being said about you as if you're a player at the North Melbourne Footy, or any footy club for that matter. So that would hurt. That would have stung him, and they've responded accordingly.
Was their skipper in the very first minute. Jack Zubel took a mark, kicked the goal, and he's crashed into a few packs. He's played forward, kicked 3 first half goals, but set the tone, which you would never doubt that man. Some of Zurhaar's, intent, all the numbers that you said, Bern, have shown a better way forward for North Melbourne. And let's be honest, it's exactly what you want, the things you can control in a game of footy. But the class of the Sydney Swans, buddies, look lightly. He's got two first half goals, but he has just got a look about him today that if they get enough ball in there, you suspect in the second half, he could have an afternoon.
Yeah, he's got bag written all over it, hasn't it, at the moment? And he does look dangerous in there. Got the match up with Mackay at the moment. He's done a pretty good job, but it's just when the ball easily comes in, uncontested inside 50s. You can't defend anyone in the competition, let alone Buddy. He's so good at it. So just need to keep that. The number one focus here from David Noble would be, please, keep the pressure up around the footy, because there were little instances in the first quarter where they just waltzed through the middle, and how easy did it look for the Swans. So they were able to turn that around on the run, North Melbourne, and that's why they got back into the game. So, Larkey hasn't got going at all at the moment. Had some really good looks, and we've pointed that out during the call, but if he just able to clunk a few of these, he could easily at the moment have 3 goals to his name. But if he can just start taking a few of them, they're getting plenty of looks. So North Melbourne, they're right in this.
Let's have a look at the Triple M Harvey Norman replay screen there, and I saw Big Dean Cox and Luffy pointed out that they have been going to the videotape regularly. The midfielders, they watched a lot of tape again in the last 5 or 6 minutes. So clearly there's some stuff structurally, Bern, they feel like they're not getting right, the Sydney Swans. They haven't had on their terms a lot in this first half of the game.
Yeah, well, that's the modern way of doing it, isn't it? On the run, it used to be almost when we were playing was on the whiteboard, or, it had to describe a situation. But with modern technology now, they just bring the iPads out. They store a couple of different things, not too many, but they store a couple of things they want to show. Maybe it's a setup or a structure or a leading pattern from a certain forward. So it's a good way to actually, a picture tells 1,000 words, they say. So it actually shows them what they should be doing rather than having to describe it or draw it on the whiteboard. So it's a great learning tool, and we see all clubs do it now.
Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. I think this was one from the second term. Let's have a listen. Kai had a little nervous moment.
Plugsy
has just kicked it straight into Buddy.
Plugs.
Not ideal.
Oh no, I've got very, very strong concerns about Plugs. This is one of those days that it could unravel for the great man. He's just kicked it straight into Buddy's guts.
It's a shocking shaped ball.
Oh no.
Had an interesting first half. Big Plugsy Walker, Bern, fair to say.
He had a bad first 10 minutes because, last year he's all over all the stats, but this was a special one. He had a kick smothered. He had a bad fumble. and he wrote bad fumble on my piece of paper here. He was dispossessed with no pressure on him, and he conceded a goal inside. That was inside the first 7 minutes, actually, Das. So he had a bad start, but he's working his way back. He's stealing balls now as well when it's not his free kick. He wants the cherry in his hand, so you can't knock him for that. He just maybe should give a few more off.
It's a remarkable turnaround in body language from the Chew Man too. He came in as down in the dumps as I've seen him in his 21-year history here on Triple M, but a little bit of joy back in the Chew Man. Might go Choice Hotels around the grounds. Need a break, book direct and save with Choice Hotels, choicehotels.com. Duck and I heading to the MCG. Chew Man tonight, the Bulldogs take on the Tigers. We congratulate the Adelaide AFLW team who had a victory to the tune of 13 points over the Melbourne Football Club, and a beautiful day over there at the Adelaide Oval. What else is happening around the grounds, Chew-Man?
Yeah, of course, AFLW Crows defeated Melbourne by 13 points, 4-5-29 to the Demons 2-4-16. Then straight after this game, it's Collingwood versus West Coast. That's at Marvel Stadium, and then followed by Richmond v Bulldogs at the MCG.
West Coast Eagles, where are they at, Chew-Man, in terms of first choice players?
Yes, that's a very good question. They haven't got much to choose from the cupboard, have they?
Tell us more, Ash. Tell us more,
It's going to go on Bernie's Nuffy file properly in the catalogue.
I want more, Ash.
I tell you what, I'll be ringing Ethan. I know he'll be on top of it.
Don't make me nervous.
Ethan's already texted through the
4 innings this week, the West Coast Eagles, we're told, Chew-Man. He's giving me a look of don't throw something my way that hasn't been pre-prepared, the Chew-Man.
Questions without notice, I struggle after 21 years.
Just all starting to unravel here. On that note, we're going to take a break. Half-time at the SCG, the Sydney Swans over North Melbourne by 3 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks Footy.
That halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M Rocks Footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
UFC 273 is here with featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski taking on the Korean Zombie tomorrow on Main Event. Available via Foxtel and KO. Pre-book now at mainevent.com.au.
What about cleaners?
Yep.
Mechanics?
Uh-huh.
Builders?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever hard work you do, Cbus are making your money work as hard as you.
Power workers?
Yep.
Factory workers?
Mm-hmm.
What about truckies?
What do you think?
Cbus Super, making hard work pay off. To consider if Cbus is right for you, go to cbussuper.com.au for a PDS and TMD. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Save big at Best Shed's massive autumn sale. Spend 10K, save 1,000. Spend 20K, save 2,500. Spend 40K and you'll save a huge $6,000. Hurry, limited time only. Go to bestsheds.com.au.
What? Check this out. Bottom Art's giving away 5 content creator kits. Just pick up a specially marked Jack Daniels and Cola 10-pack for $42.99 and enter online.
Wow, you could win an Apple MacBook, a Canon digital SLR package, a premium drone with heaps of accessories, even a photography course.
They've also got my favourite beer on special, a 24-pack of Victoria Bitters, $49.99.
A great price. The comp soon though.
Way ahead of ya!
Good time start at Bottle Mart.
See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Download the app. Catalogue out now.
Fly all-inclusive business class from Melbourne to Sydney with Virgin Australia from as low as $299 one way. Relax in the lounge and fly like a boss. Book now at virginaustralia.com. Payment surcharge may apply. Subject to availability and travel periods. Terms and conditions apply.
Trade in with Assyrian. Now available at Harvey Norman. Sell your eligible second-hand device to Assyrian and receive up to $600 combined credit towards the price of a new Oppo Find X5 series phone purchased from a participating Harvey Norman store. That's right. Receive up to $600 combined credit. Trade in with Assyrian at participating Harvey Norman stores. Ends May 5. T's and C's apply. In-store only. Visit hmtradeozassyrian.com.au/documents/trade-in/trade-in-tc.pdf for T's and C's.
Go! Code is the ultimate sports site for AFL lovers. Get in-depth stories from the game's best writers, plus podcasts and videos. Personalise your feed with my code and go deeper into the footy at codesports.com.au.
From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Now you can stream Triple M footy wherever you are. Download the Listener app and select Triple M.
Hi, it's Damien Carvin with your national news briefing. It's been a dark day for Victorian police with the death of a 25-year-old female constable in a shocking car crash south of Mildura. The crash south of the border last night claimed the life of the 25-year-old and critically injured her 47-year-old male colleague. The driver of the other vehicle died at the scene. Victorian Police Commissioner Shane Patton says it's believed the ute veered onto the wrong side of the road and collided head-on with the unmarked police car.
The major collision investigation unit is at the scene. They will be there for a substantial period of time late into the afternoon. They'll be conducting their investigations and a reconstruction of that scene to determine exactly what has happened.
No sign of the Prime Minister today, with speculation he'll call the election tomorrow morning. Aussies expected to go to the polls on either May 14 or 21. Anthony Albanese has a theory on why the PM's holding off.
One of the reasons why the election isn't being called is so that the government can use taxpayer funds to make advertisements that they think advances the Liberal Party. They can make appointments of mates to various boards.
Extraordinary scenes at Redfern train station after a 58-year-old man fell headfirst onto the tracks just seconds before a train came through. Onlookers jumped to his rescue. The train managed to stop just metres from them. And Will Smith will have to watch the Oscars from home for the next decade. The Best Actor winner copped a 10-year ban from the Academy.
Keep your family safe on the roads these holidays. Pop into Bob Jane T-Marts for a free tyre safety check. Call 13 26 25 today. They'll look after you.
Shut up!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
They do. Expert trade teams, exclusive trade services, a huge range of lights, fans, electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work, and it is half-time. And the Swans lead by just 3 points, 6-4-40 to 6-1-37. Luke Darcy in the house, as is Wayne Carey, Bernie Vince, Ash Chua. And this game's been magnificently called, which is what you expect when you listen to Triple M's, why more people do than anywhere else. And we're in Sydney where it's sunny, and that's been a rarity for the last couple of months. So we've drawn a good day, and the Kangaroos, at least for a half, have turned up, which has made it enjoyable. The expectation is that Sydney will be too good. But Bernard and Duck, if you bring heat, it's incredible what that will do in a game of footy.
Absolutely, and that's what they have to do. They have to bring it in the second half, because I don't think they've won too many quarters in the second half, North Melbourne.
Zip.
Oh, no. Zip. They haven't won a quarter.
Just
gut
Ash
feel.
had that same terrified look that he had when Duke asked him a question earlier, and it just literally like a rabbit in the ute headlights.
So as we know, it's about being able to sustain it for the 4 quarters. So they've got off to a good start. Sydney have been a little bit messy. Bernie, you've already covered all of that. But, for me, if North Melbourne just bring the heat, then they at least keep themselves in it. I still expect Sydney to probably come out a little more fired up than they did in the first. You don't have to be. When you probably where Sydney's at, and by the way, they're not an automatic finals team this year, but we know they've got talent. You do come into some of these games, you're not quite mentally on, and it might take a little bit of a spray at half-time and a revisit on a few things, as you said before at half-time, Bernie. So I expect them to come out pretty fired up, Sydney, but on the same token, you'd expect North to want to go on with this.
No, they were able to turn it around, weren't they, the last 10 minutes, Sydney? So you'd expect more of that, if not better, and they would have copped a little bit of a cook at half-time there, no doubt, because they're a proud footy club, and they want to be in the finals, like you mentioned, Duck. So it's just off the back of pressure. So it was just all. That's an attitudinal thing. So last week decided not to bring it, as I mentioned, and this week they're up for the fight. They said, well, we're not just going to give you the 4 points, Sydney. You might be a better side than us, but we're going to make you earn it. We're going to make you earn it around the footy. You're going to have to be on top of your clearance work. We're going to try and out-tackle you. This tackling stats are outstanding for North Melbourne compared to previous weeks. Average 25.5, up to 40 already. So that's attitude, and that's wanting to get the footy back, make it hard to play against.
Horn Francis, 16 possessions in the first half, equal top of anyone on the ground with Callum Mills, the number 1 overall draft pick, showing everyone why he was.
Nearly took mark of the year too, didn't he?
He got good height, good elevation, just couldn't hang on. So we're ready to start this second half. It's the Swans by 3 points.
Maybe Goldstein and Laddams often get a really high bounce here at the SCG with the old cricket wicket in there, and that's exactly what happened. Ollie Florent, little don't argue, a bit too easy on Stevenson. Just waltzed around him, Buddy went back. Reed came over the top. Hayward, a little fumble. Perez's handball was trying to find Walker and Mackay, and now getting involved back there was Core. Flying shot across the face at goal. Reed's cleaned a couple up. Ball bouncing back.
Plugs.
Walker.
Oh, no, Plugs.
Come the other way.
Come on, Plugsy.
Get out of my way, Big Josh. I'll kick the easiest of goals, and
Plugs.
hard to explain just how easy Bell walked past there. He's pretty happy with himself too. Sydney Swans go out to a 9-point lead early stages second term. That is all on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, Duck.
It was like Bell was running on concrete and Plugs was running through concrete.
Through wet concrete.
Wet concrete, exactly. He looked like he was in slow motion, didn't he?
It almost looked like he's trying to set him up for a goal there, Plugsy. He tapped it into his path and said, here you go, it's in your forward 50, why don't you just kick a goal? Ash, you have to write that one down.
Yeah, I've created a separate column.
I'm not sure what you call that.
He's capable of catastrophic involvements, Plugs.
Catastrophic involvement, maybe.
And that's what that was.
It's a goal assist.
Yeah, it was.
Assist to the opposition.
Against. Yep. Well, we've said it. The fact that he had plugs in his hair, it maybe damaged his brain.
Filtering down into the brain.
Stevenson inside 50. Ball gets past Siebel, who had a good first half. And Sydney exit D50 and they go wide, and it's a mark taken by Bell. Handball off to McInerney. Some urgency here for the Swans. Runs to the wing. To half forward, that's wide, pretty ordinary in fact, and missed Parker out in the full.
What it was back in the centre bounce though, previous to that goal, was it was too easy. Stevenson should have made that tackle on Ollie Florent. Should have just made that tackle. That's an area of his game that's very poor defensively. Needs to make that tackle, and he just shuts that goal down.
Big Laddams copped a little clip behind the ear at that ruck contest from Goldstein, and
Goldie's armpit that got him, Duck. And he
landed very carefully.
Zurhaar was brilliant again. He's taken some body with him. Well played, Zurhaar. Found Marnie. Inside forward 50. Gives it back to Zurhaar. Steers one towards goal. Lizard got back.
Yes.
There they are.
He's going to pay the goal, I reckon.
No, surely not.
No, he's taken that way inside, hasn't he?
Oh, Lizard. You can't believe it.
Just having a good conference. They're going to go to the score review here.
He's just walking around trying to find his tail.
That's where he lost it.
At his way
What is
inside.
the ump doing? He's marked it a metre inside the line.
Unnecessary score review here, Jim.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
It's on the 9.
See from here that was a metre, 2 metres inside.
The line, yeah.
The Lizard's just shaking his
No,
head.
he can't believe it. Luffy.
Wait till it comes up.
Yeah, boys, you mentioned Laddams copped an elbow from Goldstein. He didn't want to come off initially, but he was a little bit shaky, so the trainer has brought him off. He's now just in the hands of the Docs on the bench.
They're trying to, thanks, Luffy. They're trying to work out if he fumbled it over the line or not.
It's a mark.
It's got to be a mark. How's that taking a minute?
The
Ridiculous.
shadow taking a mark on the mark sign now.
So, Nick Blakey to the outer side. Long penetrating ball and a good mark taken by Heaney. Quiet first half for this star of the game. That's a very nice mark. Lloyd runs for him. He uses him up. In fact, goes further than Lloyd to Goulden, and then Lloyd gets it. Has run on. The Lloyd kick is going to work. Maybe to Parker. Taken in the Horn Francis tackle. Hall spins it back to Horn Francis via Aiden Core. That's not gone far enough. Perez bashed into by Heaney, and the ball's out. The game's gone up a notch.
Parker been quiet today, Ash? What are his stats?
He's only had 7 touches.
Just hope North Melbourne can maintain the heat here for the second half. They've put themselves into the game. It's only a 9-point lead to the Sydney Swans, but just some signs. Sydney getting on top of the last 4 goals of the game. And Francis fighting hard. Scott in there. Goldie went back and won it at ground level. Well done, Simpkin. Always puts in this Jai Simpkin. Zerha. And gunning him in his way. That was agricultural.
What's he doing, Zoo?
Sucked slipper into Cunningham and
gave it back.
Found a way the Sydney Swans to exit with the ball. McLean, Walker.
Plugs.
He's done well there, Big.
I reckon that's close to deliberate from Plugsy.
Has to be.
Oh, I can't believe it, Plug.
Where's the surprise from?
Oh, no. McLean.
He's acting.
High inside forward 50. Luke McDonald with a fist. Turner. Davies Uniacke gets it back from Goldie and slices through the middle nicely. Wobbles one to half forward. Someone's got to get on the end of this. It's Rampy out in front of Zeeble. Zerha again with some nice forward heat.
They'd hold the ball there, I reckon.
No, can't have.
Nah.
Holding the man, I reckon, is going to go
Jeez, he didn't have him
McCartan's
on.
way.
Zerha showed there that he didn't have a left hand.
Yes.
Didn't have a left hand handball. Tried to do it on his right, inside out right handball and couldn't hit the target.
He just held his jumper after he released the handball. Not a lot in it. Short to Mills. Half back for the Swans. 46 plays 37. Sydney by 9 points. Callum Mills into the corridor with a very nice ball for Bell. Wants to go. He does. High inside 50. Buddy at the back. Nice mark. Mackay in front.
To stand tall. Ben Mackay. Did a pretty good job now. Hall. On board to Simpkin. Hall gets the 1-2. Almost sold himself into some trouble. They work their way through it. Simpkin, this next kick will be the one that Goldstein...
No. Never in the chain.
just lay down, Goldie.
No. He actually put his hand up to apologise, Goldie. Got a little bit overzealous there. Bell's had some nice moments for the Swans.
Starting to get a bit of the ball.
5 metres out. Thinking about having a lash at this for goal number 3. To the near side, didn't make the distance in the end. Live ball there. Hayward's dangerous. Scooped it up. Got it back to Warner. He's going to have a little bend at it around the corner. Wasn't able to get it to the near side for a minor score. So the Sydney Swans are 7-5, 47, 6-1, 37 is North Melbourne. Let's get down to Luffy for Bob Jane teammates.
Yeah, boys, Laddams has gone down into the rooms now to do the mandatory concussion test. Ben Ronk is warming up, but still there's no indication whether he needs to go on as yet.
It was barely a brushing of Laddam's bonce. Am I wrong?
No, well,
his armpit.
He fell.
On an elbow.
He fell softly to the ground. It was
it
didn't look like there was much in it.
Very innocuous. Short ball.
He's had a bit of history though, hasn't he? When he was at Port Adelaide. Head knocks.
Scott to the wing with a high, wide one. Goldstein almost. Zerha worried out of it. Lizard copped a little push in the back. That's Blakey. Through came Simpkin to McDonald. He got bowled over. Now comes Warner. Charging through. High and long inside 50. Plugs at the back. Walker just got to be real careful. He managed that pretty well to Mackay. Now Horn Francis getting back to assist the defence. Decent ball out. Nicely picked up too from Goldie. But this is a real worry. He's kicked it to a real dangerous spot. Hall coughed it up. They win it back through Davies Uniacke and then Simpkin.
They are out here big time, aren't they, Byrne? Stevenson released the handball nicely to Simpkin. He should score. This would be a coast-to-coast ripping effort from North Melbourne, and Simpkin did the justice to the effort. And North Melbourne kick an important goal. Well done, Jai Simpkin. They released it beautifully. Davies Uniacke was special in that chain. North Melbourne back to within 4 points. That is all on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Nice movement there, Duck.
Yeah, just looking at the Harvey Norman, you had 2 Sydney players. One was Blakey, the other one was Tom McCartan. Both went to where the handball was going.
Yep.
One had to sag off to put pressure on But, good, clean footy, wasn't it?
Classy finish.
Yep, nice finish.
That's happened from that Goldstein kick inside too, which we thought was a pressure kick. He missed the target by about 10 metres, but what it did, it opened up the ground. It nearly gave away a goal, but it opened up the corridor for North Melbourne. And they keep trying to run and gun, don't they? They have a lot of handball through the middle of the ground. Obviously a short ground in Sydney, able to overlap and draw defenders forward, as you called, Duck.
Cherry and Reid. Off the ground, Parker. Coming in from the side, Taylor. And a ball.
Simpkins had a good quarter. Two-man.
This quarter, 7 disposals and kicked a major, has 19 for the game.
A restart here. Greenwood worried out of it. Kennedy. Florent. Parker. High ball to half forward. Boston Balagi. Thought had a clean piece of that, but the umpire didn't, and it's going to be a ball up centre half forward for the Swannies.
He links up well, doesn't he, Jai Simpkin, through the middle of the ground. He's always involved, gets involved once, it's twice or three times, and really setting up play for North.
Boston Balagi again, and well done by Rowbottom. Broke it up, went off the ground, Bud lurking. It gets past him and out of play for a ball in.
13 minutes remaining until three-quarter time. SCG, decent crowd in. Franklin's got a couple. 4-point lead to the Sydney Swans. If you just joined us, Triple M Rocking Footy. McDonald's and Ream, hot water. Clearing Keck was Perez. He's been marked by Campbell for the Swans. Going to go back inside forward 50 here, Sydney. Short finds Cunningham. The Lizards pushed up. And then the look-away kick almost around the body.
Oh no, Boston.
Oh no.
R2's got a little bit of a nervous moment back here. He found a way to get it to Hall, and this is where they've been dangerous from. They've linked up at half back. Marnie goes outside. The handball missed the target. Taylor able to gather it back to Marnie. Thought about playing on to go past Parker, but now he's going to reset and see if they can come back through the corridor. Hall's had a bit of the footy chew man.
17 touches.
Half back. We saw that 3-game patch a few years back for Gold Coast where he was, I think, back-to-back Brownlow votes in all of them. Well, it'll be nice to see him recapture that form at half back now. Kick from Florent. R2's in there, got rid of Gordon. Horn Francis waited for the umpire, and then he had the speed and the skill to get around a tackler, sends it inside forward 50. He might have been drilled as he kicked it, and it's a downfield free kick, and Goldie's claimed it.
I reckon Parker might have got a bit frustrated that the fact that the young fella went around him so easy.
Clubbed him, you reckon?
And gave him a little one. We'll have a look at the Harvey Norman will show us.
Well, Larkey was the player. As we look at the Harvey Norman replay, Larkey, oh no, it was a free kick, was it, against Rampy? Wrapped his arm around him because Larkey's in that marking contest. It's his kick if it's a down the field free kick. Yeah, Rampy just wrapped his arms around him and gave a free kick to Goldstein, but the resting ruckman, they've been a target inside 50, haven't they, for North today? This is the third shot, I think, from resting ruckman.
And that's what can happen. He's 201 centimetre, 104 kilo, big man. They do tend to draw free kicks.
Up against Rampy, 188 centimetres, no?
It's a big body difference, isn't it? Can Goldie deliver? Good-looking kick. Well played.
Oh, gold man.
He's got a couple. Goldstein. North Melbourne get back-to-back goals, and they get the lead back by 2 points. That's all on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies. Over 120 stores, expert teams, and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
Yeah, we watch on the Harvey Norman replay. Definitely a free kick against Rampy as he kicked the ball in. Just didn't play it up for the free kick a little bit, Goldstein, but as soon as you wrap your arms around or hold before the ball's entering the contest area, it's a free kick. So the umpire saw the arms go up in the air and thought, yep, the arms are wrapped around Goldstein, I've got to play that free kick. So looking dangerous in there, and just the height discrepancy is the reason that free kick was given away.
Not a lot in it.
Not much in it.
That's why we thought it was Park.
Yeah.
Playing poor Parker.
Yes, sir.
It's Horn Francis, 18 years of age, number 1 ranked player on the ground at the moment. 20 disposals, 10 contested ball, the most on the ground, along with 6 clearances and 5 tackles.
To you in a second, Luffy, as Goldstein slapped it back to Simpkin. And he's able to go forward with the footy now. Paddy McCartan folding back, takes what I thought was a very good mark, should have been paid. Ended up with the ball anyway and delivers it, but straight to Simpkin. Might have got a free for a hold from Warner. Quick release now, Aidan Core. And he slides it inside 50, and Marnie gets one around the chops. Luffy, to you.
His big Tristan Sherry has come off. He's got a huge cut just above his right eye. He's on the bench now, getting strapped up, having the tape wrapped right around his head to protect that.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Luffy. A fitty, I think Errol Goulden might have just got on the lip a little there.
Yeah, the umpire, there is an umpire off ball talking to Errol Goulden, so I don't know if he said something or did something.
Makes a certainty of it now. 9-1, 55 to 7-5, 47, North in front on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
I'm not sure about the 50 metres, but certainly the last couple of free kicks that the Kangaroos have been given have been...
Look at this one, Duck.
Really,
Is that there?
Really soft. No, it's not.
You're allowed to...
Harvey Norman,
spoil.
well, if you're going to pay that, you're paying 100 free kicks a game.
That is not a free kick. And then the 50 just adds salt to the wound. But Eric, I think we heard on the umpire's mic abuse off ball, so not sure what he was abusing. Maybe the umpire for paying that free kick, but it was so far behind the play. Surely he wasn't spraying the non-officiating umpire.
Yeah, it wasn't. Who gave away the free kick?
Well, I think it was Goulden.
But he certainly wasn't arguing with the umpire.
Oh, no, Campbell was
leading down to have listed.
So a little bit of the rub of the green the way of the Kangaroos. It's 3 in a row now. Davies, Uniacke, Simpkins been enormous. Love the way he glides out of the pack, puts it out in front. Zeeble, Rampy goes back, and they've had a good patch here, the Kangaroos.
They have, but if you're getting uncontested centre bounce clearance with no pressure on the footy, you just got to hit someone inside 50 there. Just let himself down with that last kick inside 50.
That's Bernie Vince. We've got the King Wayne Carey, the Triple M Seabus Super Special Comments team delivering consistent long-term return for members. Seabus for Oliver Zerha, wrapped up by Mills. No prior opportunity was the call, so they get some more time inside forward 50 here, North.
He went with a real white frosted hair zoo in the off-season that was quite astounding, actually. Davies Uniacke stepped through a couple, trying to find a body by hand at Simpkin. Bell came through as well. Davies Uniacke again. Greenwood, Zeeble. This is all in the phone box because the Swans are everywhere. Boston Valagi past Larkey and out in front of Cunningham for a deep throw in North Melbourne forward half.
What's Greenwood's day been like? Ash, haven't seemed to notice him too much.
He's had 14 touches and just a couple of clearances.
So the ball in here, deep. And the Paddington end of the SCG. Down to Parker. Had it, lost it. Greenwood. Same can be said. Lloyd tackled firmly and another ball up.
Trapped it in their forward 50 here, North Melbourne. Halfway mark of this third term, and they have the lead by 8 points, the Kangaroos. Great story. Might be a Goldstein free kick. Well, he certainly thought he was going to get one, but it's gone the other way to Reid. Sure what happened on that occasion.
North Melbourne won 5 of the last 7 clearances too, boys.
Callum Mills has it at half-back. It's Kennedy down the line, launched over the top of Simpkin to a good mark to Joey Kennedy. Game number 283. AFL Life member, what a player he's been. Crossing over from the Hawks. There's another whistle off the footy. Well, the players look up. I don't know what's going on out there.
Happy.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, isn't there?
Jeez, North Melbourne free kick. Isaac Henny's
everyone's confused.
Baffled.
No, they're confused. Young wide, another whistle. Oh, come on, umps. Now we're starting to take the piss.
Let's get some continuity.
We need to play the game.
Let
it flow. Come on.
These are soft breeze, aren't they?
Yeah,
Every single one of them.
Long ball looking for Zeeble.
Another one.
Another one.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no. Come on. Come on, Umpy. They've lost the handle.
Is there a record for chains?
41 free kicks already. This year's AFL average per game is 44.
Jeez.
That was
record
3 in a row that no one could work out.
Howee.
So Zeeble now has the free kick and he's about 35 out.
That one was probably there. As I said in the Harvey Norman replay, he was just shepherded off the ball.
Tight angle. For his 4th, if you don't mind. Jack Zeeble. And it's right through the middle. 10 goals won 61 to 7-5-47. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. What's career high for Zeeble? Please, Ash.
5 majors is his PB.
Simpkin, you mentioned him having a good quarter at the moment, Jim. He's had 10 disposals and kicked a goal this quarter. Davies Uniac's had 7 as well. So a lot of handball change through the middle of the ground here from North. They're just running and gunning it and testing Sydney's defenders out, because what Sydney like to do is get numbers back and help out their defence. But the way it's coming in, they're not able to get back in time with the speed on the ball. So North Melbourne, really important 8.5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. They could even extend this, because the game's being played in their half. They're winning the footy around clearance, and real good look for them.
Bob Jane teammates, Luffy.
Boys, Laddams passed the concussion test. He's back out in the ground. What they were concerned of is he had a concussion pre-season. Sherry has now gone down into the rooms. They can't stop the bleeding near the right eye.
I think his normal state is concussed, Laddams, so it'll be...
Lucky Hansen had that issue.
Here come the Swans.
The standard test was not up to normal.
Tex, another one.
Tex, yep. So when you do the test in January and you don't pass, how do you know if you're concussed in July?
It took him till in season to pass it one year. What's if he was concussed early?
He's a good man, Lockie. He'll be out at Narnagoon or somewhere listening. So ball in deep here for the Swans, who need a goal suddenly. 7-5 to 10-1. Luke McDonald, that's holding the ball, so they'll get a set shot here through Rowbottom. Good tackling from the young Swan.
It becomes a big kick, this one for Sydney. All the plays been against them. Goalless this term, Ash.
Sydney kicked 1 major.
Just the 1 goal, and North Melbourne have had all the play, played the game in their half, so it becomes a really important kick in the context of this game.
James Rowbottom. Not a hell of a lot of angle. He's about 40 out. Oh no. He very nearly missed the whole ball.
Jeez.
He almost missed the ball with his foot.
Have we ever seen that with a set shot, missing the ball?
45-degree angle into the crowd.
Might have been getting tips off his uncle.
Oh,
Uncle Brian.
Oh, boy.
And this is one of those days as the Kangaroos exit through Bailey Scott with horse line. You can see the look on his face where you're going, no, it's not going to be, is it? Surely we find a way here, but Kangaroos have a 14-point lead.
Your plugs.
Walker's flicked it back out. Rowbottom, Buddy's just a little bit sore. Gets up to his feet now, looks okay. Florent to the goal square. McInerney in there, well played. Simpkin again, he's been enormous this quarter. McDonald, nervous moments down here. R2, he got ragdolled, R2. McInerney got him.
He's dislocated his finger.
Looks a little unhappy buddy out there at the moment. We'll get to Luffy in a moment, just to see. Hopefully it is just a finger. He's going to come off and get that sorted out.
Ball,
I think.
Good ball for Stevenson, who's got rid of the long sleeve jumper, gone back to the sleeveless. Now he's called to play on. He hadn't actually moved, but he's got nowhere to go. Just going to have to go high and long. Larky's had an ordinary day by his marking standards. That's holding the ball. Swans are just up the tempo here. McInerney just pushed as he kicked it inside 50. Ball bouncing. Bosambalagi and Haywood and Heaney lurking as well, and the ball's over.
Buddy getting some treatment down there, Luffy. What can you see?
Boys, it's his middle finger. It was actually on a right angle. So obviously in the tackle there, it's popped out. They're just trying to pull it back into place. As you can see, the pain that Buddy's in.
Never a lot of fun, Duck, that one, is it?
No, if the Docs get it back in quick, it's not too bad. If they don't, by the looks of that, they're taking a few goes at it. Butt's not happy.
Well, it's funny when it's not your finger from my experience.
Duck's finding that very funny.
Oh, I've had a few myself.
Just going down.
Just popping back in myself.
Into the race, Bud, to get that one sorted out with a bit more attention given to it. Ollie Florent wobbles one inside forward 50. North Melbourne got all the numbers down there, and they've given away an unnecessary free kick.
No.
Hayden McLean, the beneficiary. It was 3-on-1 North's way. McLean's drawn a free kick. Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. What he's seen there, Burn.
Well, that's not there either, is it?
Pushing the side of the neck, but not a lot in it.
It wasn't. No malice in it.
I'll put it this way,
whatsoever.
there's more in that than the last 4 or 5 marking months that I've seen.
That's true.
He's 5-0 from set shots, so hasn't missed a set shot this year.
It's big Hayden McLean the Ducks talking about. Game number 26. He's got 20 career goals. That looks pretty good. Bit of late floor on it, but he snuck it home. McLean has got a couple. And they dragged the margin back, Sydney, to 8 points in favour of North Melbourne. That is all on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Nice kick for goal, isn't he? It wasn't a gimme shot. On a bit of an angle, and for a big fella, just slotted it through beautifully. But as we see there, a bit stiff, Plugsy. Tried to just work him under the footy and protect the drop zone for his teammate.
Pushing the side of the face.
Just sort of slipped up his arm, didn't he, Duck? If he didn't slip up his arm, there's no free kick. Unfortunately, he did, and free kick.
Just choice hotels between West Coast and Collingwood. Late change for the Eagles. Out Petrocelli, health and safety. In comes Luke Foley. So the Eagles have used 38 players this year after 3 rounds, opposed to 37 in total for last season.
38 players. Only got 40 on your list. So McLean goal gives the Swannies a little bit of impetus. Goldie tried to come through with the footy. Now it's Perez. Zerha wobbles one inside 50 and it beats them all and out of play. He'll be thrown in half forward for the Kangas, going to the Paddington end at the SCG. 10-1 to 8-5. North Melbourne by 8 points. Surprise leaders, has to be said. Florent, Kennedy. Thought a couple of times about releasing the ball and then did to Campbell nicely. 4.5 left in this third term. Campbell, a long raking left foot ball, gets over the head of Warner. Bossam Valagi did that pretty nicely, actually. Simkin. Bossam Valagi will get it back, and the left foot ball, as he got barreled, will go straight back to Campbell.
Half-back Braden Campbell waving the arms around and saying, let's just settle this one down, and then short kick was okay to Goulden. Still on their defensive 50 zone. He goes a long raking change of direction kick to Cunningham. Works it over the top to McInerney. Played on was the call, and he goes short to the Lizard now. Just under 4 minutes until three-quarter time. They've worked their way by foot to Isaac Henny. What's his day look like, please, Two-Man?
Just the 9 touches and scores, but he's laid 10 tackles.
Lizard high, searching, up and under type of kick. McLean was underneath it, slapped out of his hands, and it'll be about his thrown inside 450.
Luffy, got some sub news, have we?
Yeah, big news. Obviously, it was a bit more than a dislocation, but he's gone down into the rooms. He hasn't re-emerged, and it took them literally 2 minutes to call the sub. So now Ben Ronk has just run out onto the field.
Thanks for that. Ball in here for the Swans, late stages, third term. And that's a high contact surely on McInerney. No free. I thought the ump was going to pay it. Now Goulden brings the ball back to a dangerous spot. McLean almost. There is Ronk. Handball to Warner. Touched on the line.
Go aerial.
Touched on the line by Aiden Core. 10-1-61 to 8-5-53.
The Chief won't be happy with that.
In fact, it should be 8-6. 8-6-54.
Mine
went the dribble.
Yeah, strange decision, that one, Burn. Craig McRae's suggesting during the week that if a sub gets activated now, we get the fresh legs on. The other team, it's a free-for-all for them as well, Duck, as an evener-upper. What do you think of that?
They want it tweaked, don't they, the coaches?
Yeah. I don't mind bringing the sub on at any stage, Das, to be honest.
So North Melbourne edge it to half
forward. Something isn't going right for you.
I think then suggestion being that perhaps there is, in the instance of that, a big advantage to get the fresh legs on, and the easiest way to even that up is give the opposition a chance to do theirs.
I think that creates fairness, doesn't it?
There seem to be a lot of holes in that argument. Craig McRae, impressive first-year coach, the fly. Free kick again. The whistle has been almost out of control in this game.
Well, what was the free kick there for?
It ran too far.
Oh, too far, was it?
Which it didn't look like.
Nah, it didn't. thought it must have been something off ball, but
Mate, listen to the whistles.
5 whistles for the one thing, Jim. Come on.
Scott has got ball in hand. He's looking for Larkey. Hasn't been able to get going, and another free kick's been picked out. Larkey a little bit over the top there, cleaned up McInerney, who's paid the free kick.
I've never heard whistles go off like this.
He blew a whistle to talk to him then. He said, hey, listen here.
So McInerney, not 15, so he'll get called to play on. Gives the handball back. Long ball from McInerney down the wing. This is going to open up here for Mills. Over comes Plugs.
Hold up,
he
Plugs.
just put his arms up and said, "You're not getting the ball past me. I don't actually care how we do it." Now Plugs goes to ground and lets Mills just walk away with the footy.
Plugs.
He's a walking accident. Plugs. Warner outside 50. He handballs it straight into Davies. Horn Francis, I should say. Warner gets it back. He got dacked. Now it'll be a goal to Ronk. There we are. Finally they get one. 9-6-60, 10-1-61. Late stages, third term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, North by a point.
Well, just mistake after mistake.
Yeah, wasn't it?
From both teams, really. I'll tell you what, I love Warner's second effort.
Yep.
So they made the mistake, followed up, just wanted it more than anyone else, actually, in that passage of play. Eventually gave it to Ronk for the goal.
And he wasn't in the greatest position to win that ball, just wanted it more.
Yep.
Almost gave the free kick away in the back to Horn Francis, but just hunted the footy, won it back, flicked it out to a teammate, was able to give it off again there to Ronk and straight on the ground and hit the scoreboard. Jeez, he's excited. He's got the full flex, Jim. Everything's flexed. He's got the face flexed. He's screaming at the crowd. Little buddy go down in the rooms too.
Now he's going,
Took him a while to try and get to that spot a couple of weeks ago.
It did.
So a minute 45 now until three-quarter time. North Melbourne by a point. Last 2 goals with the Sydney Swans. Big centre clearance coming up. Mills was collected high. So Luke Parker has had a really quiet afternoon, man.
Yeah, Luke Parker only 11 touches.
Warner, R2 did pretty well. Hall had a little fumble.
Becoming a bit mistaken. There's a lot of mistakes out there at the moment.
Davies Uniac got a really nice step, that first one, hasn't he, in heavy traffic. Gets him out. Exciting to see him performing the way he is. 8 disposals this quarter for Luke Davies Uniac. And this is Perez now at half-back for North Melbourne with just over a minute remaining in the third term.
I have a view of Plugsy Walker. He's a decent intercept marker. That's the only thing in the game of football that you're confident in doing well.
Come on, Jim.
Once it's broken play with Plugs, it's all bets off.
Come on, Ash. Surely he's good at something. Can you find something?
Stevenson.
Well, I've got a column for him called Catastrophic Involvements, as JB mentioned.
Catastrophic involvements.
How many?
Well, today he's had 9, his PB's 13, so...
As an inside 50, a very tight set shot for his 5th, if you don't mind.
Hitting them very nicely.
Involvements.
He's got 4 more.
Got 9.
He can't wait to get to the stats post-season just to deliver that.
The way he's kicking the footy, Zeeble, mark this down, true man.
Yep.
Mark it down.
Mark it down.
It's a tight set shot.
He's hitting them beautifully today.
In comes Jack Zeeble. Oh, look at Duck. Look at Duck.
Yes.
Look at him.
He's played the cover drive.
5 for Jack Zeeble. That's an equal of a career best.
Did you see Duck's chest come out then after that? It was reminded me of
Popped a couple of buttons. That is very tight without flexing. Don't flex, no.
That's a bit like saying 21's coming my way at the blackjack table. And then when it arrives, Duck's just...
When you hit the table when the ace comes out.
Pretty much what I said. So back to 7 points, the lead here for North Melbourne. 3 seconds left in the term. Jack Zeeble with 5 to equal his highest career haul.
What a masterstroke this has been. Zeeble going forward. Would not have expected in their wildest dreams for him to kick 5 goals after playing back for so long.
Great credit to this group. We were expecting none of this really after a smashing last week, and for them to be 7 points up, three-quarter time siren will sound. You wouldn't doubt there'll be another whistle or 2 in that 3 seconds, given the way the game's played. And Francis was going to get one, but well done, North Melbourne. A quarter to go, and there's a bit going on. Sydney wants a bit.
Big Pete Laddams.
Big ladsy. So we'll just hang around for a moment. There's
Come on.
Big Tristan Cherry's not really frightening anyone in there.
Nice, mate.
As the three-quarter time siren sounds. North Melbourne by 7 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Roxford.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
kick off game day with Macca's Chicken Deluxe range. Order via McDelivery. From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M's Sunday Rub has reunited super coach Ross Lyon with superstar Joey Montagna.
Our man Ross Lyon is late. Yes. What would he say to you if you were late?
We heard lots of times through our playing career, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. He failed to prepare properly.
I've changed.
Join the Temper Mattress call team tomorrow from 1 for the Hawks and Saints. For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
All right, lads, look, it's been a bloody soft first half. Johnson, mate, you're asleep out there. Stand up straight. Belly, you're looking absolutely stretched. Hairline, where's the staying power? Stop going backwards.
Treating common men's health problems shouldn't be hard. Pilot connects men in Australia with real doctors online for best-in-class treatments for common health issues. For easy, safe and confidential healthcare from the comfort of home, visit pilot.com.au today. Pilot, level up your health.
And Pekka, try making it to the siren this time.
Hamilton versus Verstappen.
Two championship rivals.
A titanic battle.
Don't miss the most dramatic Formula One season yet. Live on KO Sports.
It's good to be aggressive sometimes.
As heroes battle.
No, Mikey, that was so not right.
He turned in on me, man.
Rivalries ignite. And a new champion is crowned.
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion.
Watch every race of the F1 2022 season.
It's not over yet.
Live on KO Sports.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. This month, Bob Jane T-Marts gives you safer holiday driving deals. Buy 3, get 1 free, and up to $100 instant cashback on a great selection of top brand tyres, including Bridgestone, Yokohama, Goodyear, Dunlop, and the legendary All-Rounder. Buy a set of 4 monster wheels and off-road tyres, and enter to win an Oztrack Telegraph X camper trailer. Plus, over 2K's worth of extras from HEMA and GME. We'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
The Chicken Deluxe Burger at Macca's. Tender Aussie chicken in a crunchy coating with melted cheese, tomato and aioli. It's all the best bits in one delicious place. Chicken and Macca's, together and loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Available after 10:30am for a limited time only.
With 20 straight victories behind him, only one man stands in the way of Alexander Volkanovski, the Korean Zombie. UFC 273 is here. Tomorrow on Main Event, UFC featherweight champion Volkanovski takes on the Korean Zombie. Will this be the battle to end the King's reign? Find out tomorrow on Main Event. Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. Available via Foxtel and KO. Pre-book now at mainevent.com.au.
Tradies. Beacon Trade's got your back. With over 120 stores, expert trade teams and the best electrical products and services, making your job easier every day. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
From a crack in your deck to your floor or even your walls, you'll find the right filling application from the Timbermate Group.
Work that perfectly.
Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Three-quarter time at the SCG. Surprise leaders North Melbourne. Been very accurate, by the way. 11-1-67. Swannies 9-6-60. It's become a scrap for the overwhelming favourites at the SCG. Bernie Vince and Wayne Carey. Special comments. Triple M footy.
Difference, doesn't it, when you're accurate? You talked about that 11 goals won. Zeeble being the main goal kicker on the ground, just absolutely nailing them. He is. But the Kangaroos now, and this is what can happen also. They've now let them in, Sydney. So now they're up there for their fight of their lives, and this would be one that Horse would have marked down as a win, given where North are at. So massive quarter. I just wonder whether Sydney can pick themselves up and run away with this, or North of too much of a sniff and might have a really good win. But they're winning centre clearances, playing really solid footy through the middle of the ground. And it's a couple of Sydney's better players. I think Parker he's been a little quiet for his standards, 13 disposals, hasn't kicked a goal as yet. Heaney's the other one, only the 10 disposals. So they're their two sort of superstars of the first few rounds. Best and fairest winner last year in Parker. So they're the ones that have got to lift for Sydney.
And they started to come a couple of times, Sydney. We just thought, oh, here they go. They're going to run over the top of them now. But to North's credit, they've been able to respond in those situations and match them and then take it to them again. And obviously lost the lead there. I think they were down by about 10 or 12 points at one stage in North Melbourne and just lifted their intensity again, was able to match it and then take it to them and find themselves in the lead now at three-quarter time, which very few of us thought they would be.
Big story, Buddy Franklin, like he dislocated a finger and they subbed him out immediately. Ronk is the activated sub for the Sydney Swans. So here we go in the last term. Laddams won the hit out. Horn Francis had a big afternoon. He's 22 disposals, but...
Give it off.
Now, yes, good. Brilliant intercept mark back there. As predicted from you, JP. That's his specialty.
Very well.
Just simplified it. Just marked it, gave it off.
Luke McDonald's turned it over badly to Ollie Florin, who goes inside 50. It gets beyond plugs. And now Ben Mackay's picked it off, gives it to Hall. What a great handball. Bell comes in. Hall grabs him. Ball. Ash, North Melbourne have a decent record at the SCG in recent times.
Yeah, well, they have a 61% winning record at this venue, which is the second best win-loss record of any team behind the Crows, at just under 62.
Well, we played some home games from there many years ago.
Yeah, just a bundle, but very good record.
A bundle,
small bundle,
roughly.
Yeah.
Bundle.
I reckon it's been decent in modern times too, like in recent years. I don't know why.
They've won 2 out of the past 3.
There you are.
Yeah,
Sydney have had better teams through that time. As they do now, work to the front. Here is Parker. Just pushed as he kicked. Hall's got to go back with courage. Did it well.
Disposal number 20 coming up for Hall. Had a pretty good afternoon. He's got one up the corridor that he's going to take, and that is finding Aidan Core. Overlap run provided. Bailey Scott kicks a long ball. Zeeble coming out at centre forward. He tripped at the inopportune time. Jack Zeeble. Zerha smashed the body. There's a Swans player. Now Nick Larking's had just a shocker. It's another way to describe it.
It's 35 metres out and grubbed one about 20 metres.
Bad news is Zerha, he's down. There was a Swans player down as well behind play. We'll get to Luffy on that in a moment as the Lizard comes out and finds McInerney.
McInerney on the wing, puts on the Jets, and he's gone. Stevenson came in and wrapped him up the tackle. He did the old bounce like Barry Cable, like KB, just out in front. Stevenson with the tackle, held him up. Zerha's back on his feet. Hall gets it from the lateral delivery from Stevenson. Might have been a bit of head contact, I think, from McCartan and Zerha. Long ball forward. Paddy has it thumped away from him. Mills dispossessed. Marnie on the up. Stevenson, that's a throw. Horn Francis wrapped up by the Lizard.
JB, that's Paddy McCartan with a big heavy knock to the head.
And he got straight up.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's back. Yeah, that's great news.
Yeah, he got straight up. Zerha looked like he was in more trouble than Paddy.
Well, that is a good result because heart in your mouth stuff.
I did see that. I didn't want to say anything. I was just praying that he was okay.
He's back up and he's in this contest now. There's brother Tom. Spills to ground. He's gone with a bizarre standing check side.
Come on.
Directly in front of his own goal and missed.
He has had an absolute shocker. Nick Larkin.
Maybe just a left foot as well. He had 2 teammates to handball. But
Luffy, down to you.
Boy, Zerha has come off after that very heavy knock. He's in the doctors now. His eyes are a little bit closed, so he's not looking too healthy at the moment.
Big spoil there from Plugs Walker, and now Scott wobbles it inside 50. Zeeble will look away.
Wow.
Turner will run in. First of the final term, North. And we are out to 14 points. Kane Turner.
Well, not sure whether Zeeble knew that Turner was there, or whether he was just keeping the ball alive in the forward part of the ground, which often you do, and just handballed it towards goal. But it hit him perfectly on the run, didn't it?
I'm paying this for Zeeble.
Yeah, I think he did.
Heard the voice.
But previous to that as well, as we watch on the Harvey Norman replay, big Plugsy, Jim.
Oh, great
came
come-off
off his
spoil.
man, had to make contact with the footy, which we were all nervous about because his man stayed behind. It would have been almost a free front half of the ground for his opponent, but made contact, smashed it back about 30 metres, and the North Melbourne Smalls were able to swoop on it and create that goal. So this is big time here for North Melbourne. 14 points up. First goal was so crucial in this quarter.
He meant that, Zeebs.
Yep.
It's the best handball of the year. Yep. He saw and heard the voice, flicked it over his head. As Bernie just said, North Melbourne, one of the great upsets in recent times. If they can find a way from here, they lead it by 14 points. And they're playing all over top of Sydney at the moment. Picked up, though, by Goulden. You know the Swans will keep coming.
Oh, no.
Taken out of it, Bell Parker. There's been nowhere. Hayward tried a little party trick between his legs, and free kick again has been picked out off the ball going away Sydney. It was legged, I believe. So
free kick, Sash. Yeah, another one inside 50, which is going to result on a shot on goal. We haven't seen the Harvey Norman yet. We didn't really notice it.
Cracked the half century, 50. So the season high this year is 51.
Way too many. Way too many, Ash.
Will Hayward, the beneficiary of this one, directly in front. The Swans will be desperate for him to slot it through. Shouldn't miss from here. Only a quality finisher. Will Hayward makes no mistake. The Swans get an important one back. 8 points is the lead of North Melbourne on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
And when I say way too many, Bernard, I'm not for a second saying there's been any form of bias towards one team or the other. They've just paid way too many free kicks in the game.
It felt like every contest there's been, there's whistles going from everywhere, and it's not a great look on the game. Some of them sort of been 50-50s. I think if it's 50-50, you let it go unless it's a holding the ball. They've been tight on that today, which we've enjoyed, but you see in the Harvey Norman replay, I didn't see too much there.
Was it holding the ball against Simpkin earlier?
He was legged. Hayward was legged. He
looked like he just had hold of his shorts. Yeah. Luffy, down to you.
Boys, Paddy McCartan has just gone down into the rooms with the doctors to do a precautionary concussion test, but in the good sign, he actually said to the doctor, I'm fine, I don't need to do it, and they said, no, we want you to do it.
Yeah,
so it's not his call, it's the doctor's call.
Yeah, Luffy, so that's what they do now. They look at the vision. So Paddy got straight up after that, but they've looked at the vision and thought, we better test him anyway.
Goal apiece. Goulden taken in a tackle inside 50, just released the footy. Now Campbell, wrong-sided, wide one, Davey Zuniak, and well done Warner. Took a really good mark.
Good player, isn't he, Warner?
Handball over the top, they've got, run down, no awareness at all, Errol Goulden. No idea Davey Zuniak was going to mow him down, and he might have squashed one of his pills. That tackle,
it looks pillish.
I reckon his legs just came together and he had a little pill squeeze.
Squash pill behaviour.
That's what happened.
Huge tackle it was from Davey Zuniak. Sherry down there. And now Simpkin. He's going to bend it around to the top of the goal square. Goldstein's down there with the lizard, and Joey Danaher chipped in. That ball just had to come to ground.
Joey Danaher.
Joey Danaher.
He's everywhere.
First bit, right?
Joey. Made a good effort.
Joey Kennedy.
I wonder why Duck was looking at me strangely there.
Duck was celebrating. He loves that stuff.
Hayward streaming forward. Got a good look at it here. The Swans. A fist from Scott. Did well. Game on at the SCG. Just 8 points the lead. I want to know who comes through here. What, Plugsy?
No wonder they got it inside.
He just ran past the footy blokes.
And then caught one.
Yep. And now he's giving it to Bell, and they're in a bit of a push and shove. Throwing inside forward 50 here for the Swans.
Of course it was Plugs.
Parker, Lloyd, just hoofs it high. No mark taken, Davey Zuniak. Parker went to ground. Greenwood had a piece of him.
It's gone.
And it's holding the ball.
Had to be. Went to ground, dove on it. Tried to get in the back free kick, I reckon, there, Parker. Played for it a little bit and then laid on it. Good call by the umpire.
Here Greenwood comes up with the Sharon on the back of that decision. Sends it towards the wing. Adams got a hand on it. Here's Kennedy to Ollie Florent. Runs at full distance, drives a long ball north. We've got some pretty good numbers down there, but front and centre, nicely taken by Ronk. He's going to bend it, bounce it, hits the post.
Jeez.
Activated sub for Buddy Franklin Ronk. Margin now back to 7 points in favour of North Melbourne. Luffy, Bob Jane teammates.
Boy, Zerha didn't even go and do a concussion test. They've just taken him out of the game. Bonner is now warmed up, ready to go onto the ground.
And here is Big Pete Laddams. Quick handball to Mills. Straightens up, kicks a goal for Sydney.
They're going to make it come back.
It's coming back.
I reckon he's played on over the mark.
All right. Who? Big Pete.
Big Pete Laddams.
Coming back from Pete. Still, it's in the forward half of the Swans. They trail by 7 points. And Pete Laddams has got the footy. This kick will take them inside 50. It's a low burner, and it's not a good ball. Straight to Curtis Taylor.
Did well, the youngster in defence to Stevenson. A very interesting finish coming up this game. It's massive opportunity for North Melbourne. The Lizard over the top smashes it out of play. It is Nick Blakey. And the Sydney Swans win that they would be desperate to find a way, having been outplayed for most of this game. And thrown in slightly in attack this for the Sydney Swans. Goldstein got a handle on it. Road bottom, tracked by Greenwood. Did pretty well to usher him over the boundary line.
Standing up here, North, again, aren't they? They're just around the footy, they've just looked controlled, composed. They're cracking in when they need to, making good tackles. What I'm seeing.
It's a big out, isn't it? The sub for Zerha with the concussion protocols. Aiden Bonner comes in. Spent a couple of years at the Giants. He's played a big role. Zerha has been effective. Stevenson laid a good tackle there on the wing, and they go back through the corridor here, North Melbourne.
Short one works for Luke McDonald, and that's a very ordinary ball inside 50, although Campbell went without. McInerney runs away. Quick release handball here for Lloyd. Now Heaney on the wing. Swan streaming forward. Long ball inside 50. McLean. Good fist from the Plugs. Bossum Valagi went without it. Then a nice tackle laid on Parker. Heaney in the pocket. Dribbles it inside 50. Ball's back there, last line. And can control a short one to Davey Zuniak. Who'll do the same to Luke McDonald.
Pretty well organised their defence today, North Melbourne. Given some support when required and stood up in some key moments.
What they're doing when they win the ball back in their D50 under pressure, they're able to find a mark really quickly, either with the first or second possession, just to release that pressure.
Davey Zuniak kick was smothered. Spills to Luke McDonald. Now Stevenson drives it down the line. I reckon the number one draft pick, Horn Francis, has given away a free kick.
He has to the Lizard. Had an interesting afternoon. The Lizard lost its tail early and lost his mind with it a bit. But now that he's regenerated the tail, his game's got better and better. Ronk on for Franklin, short to Mills. 7 point lead. Incredibly for the Kangaroos. Long one from Mills. Wobbling ball. Goldstein couldn't take the mark. Here's Plug. Oh, no! Plugsy's kicked it into the members' stand.
10 rows back.
Come on, Plugs. Ronk.
Another one in the column. Thanks, Ash.
That's number 10, double figures.
A catastrophic involvement. He's got his own column, Plugsy Walker. This is Warner to steer the Swans inside 50. He does with a high one. Reed to come at it, just couldn't take it. Marnie over the top of the footy. So's Ben Ronk. Bossum Valagi ripped in a row bottom tackle, and there'll be a ball up.
Interesting stage of this game now. North Melbourne by 7 points. Plenty of time remaining in this last term. Over 11 minutes on the clock. Swans in attack. Goldstein guided it down. McInerney was able to get hold of it. They come from everywhere. McInerney went and followed up his own work to Mills, who farms the handball back to Lloyd, who Goes with the high ball, top of the square. Mark's been taken by Mackay. And he's nervous with this heavy-handed whistle. Something else going on there. Mackay's been paid the mark, though.
A ridiculous amount of whistlage. Mackay.
7 of the 22 goals as well have been from free kicks.
Good mark taken by Reed, floating in front of Sherry. Gives it off to the Lizard Blakey.
There he goes.
And he goes with a real ordinary little worm burner, and it's marked by Stevenson. Stevenson on the ground just was Simpkin. Takes it on the wing. Another very good day at the office for Jai Simpkin, 28 possessions. And he bites off a little one, and that's okay to Luke McDonald. Right in front of the Sydney interchange gate. High inside 50 ball from McDonald. Was there a push? Not paid on Sherry. Bonner. Nice tackle on Kennedy, and now Cunningham had to go high over the top of Marnie. Good mark taken by Sherry. Floating in from the side, just inside 50, very tight angle.
It had some hang time on it, that clearing kick from Cunningham. Not that it cleared very far because it went almost straight up in the air, but bizarre that no Sydney player actually flew for that. They all stood around and watched Sherry just pluck it.
Unlikely, but if this goes through, they've got to kick 3 goals, the Swans. And we've got 9 minutes left, so it's a massive kick. Very, very tough angle for Sherry. He goes to the set-up ball instead. Goal man! Hands to the ball. Should have clunked it, didn't. And now a free kick's going to go against for the Swans.
Huge play there for North Melbourne. He almost was uncontested in the end. Big Goldie, he got both hands on it and just surprised himself and put it down. That would have been huge for North Melbourne.
Just had to mark it, really.
Did.
Set up perfectly. Will that be a moment I'd like to get back as Ronk cuts back in ball, hung it in the air a little bit. McInerney's been prominent, decides to play on. Goes back to Ronk, back to McInerney. This is all inside the deep 50. Well played North Melbourne, as Byrne just alluded to. Their pressure's good, they've turned it over. Now the kick comes from Turner. Goldstein again. Greenwood handled good. Cherry on the run.
Good boy.
Flicked it back to Simpkin, bending and steering it towards goal. Siebel tried to shepherd, but it didn't go through. Kennedy had enough time to fumble.
Oh, no.
His short kick was a bit interesting as well. The Lizard Blakey to save the day.
And he'll just thump it down the line. Members side, big fist. Here's Haywood. Handball into the path of Parker. He's got running support, and that's Warner. Now Mills. Fans a wide one for Heaney. Done bugger all, Isaac Heaney, but this is massive. And it's in good hands.
It was the first time prior to that, the last 5 minutes, Sydney have been just giving it to players under more pressure. They've been putting themselves in hot water just because of bad decision making rather than get the ball forward. On that occasion, forward handballs hit the target and the fluency in their play looks so much better.
Great inside 50, forward 50 pressure from North Melbourne though. To be able to win that ball back after they had heaps of time on the ball. They were able to win it back and probably should have scored down the other end.
Big set shot here for Isaac Heaney. He is a star.
Yeah, good kick.
1 point, the lead for North. Heaney gets his first. 11-7 to 12-2. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
That's what good teams do. They just keep coming. Look at them lining up as we watch the Harvey Norman replay, just lining up through the middle of the ground. It was a great contested footy win on the wing from Haywood, who handballed it inside to Parker. He just got it inside 50. Just so much room inside 50. There's 2v2 inside 50, and Heaney ran back onto it.
It was well done by Haywood because he likes to fly, but he summed the situation up beautifully. All that he needed was a contest, and he stood front and square, got the front and square, and that's where the play started.
And his man went for it. His man flew. He stayed down, was able to handball inside.
And Josh Kennedy, he's the number 1 ranked player for the Swans since half-time. 9 possessions, but 8 of those have been contested, along with 3 clearances.
How much of this game with North Melbourne been in front for you, man?
Yeah, time in front, 77 minutes, Sydney at 37.
1 point lead, North Melbourne hanging on at the moment. 7 minutes remaining. Plugsy Walker
good boy.
did it nicely, but now Hall's lost his mind.
He's passed it on.
David Noble ready to just Alistair Clarkson style smash something, I think. Nervous tension around us. We might get an update in a moment from Luffy on Paddy McCartan, who's been through the concussion protocols. Good news is Luffy told us that he's given himself the all clear. Deep ball inside the Swans forward 50, read out the back. Swans,
he's had it in.
He's genuinely missed the Sharon. 6 metres out, under no pressure.
What the
Duck.
hell?
Explain what happened there, please.
Oh, he stuffed it. He literally, as you called it, he hit the ground before the footy.
Oh, no.
And actually was lucky to make contact with the ball in the end. Went about half a metre, Dust.
Scores a level. Hall's kick in, not great. Larky's had no mitts at all in this game. None available to him. Simpkin tried to handball his way through. Rampy did well. McInerney's been very good in this last quarter. Goulden, they just look a bit fresher here. The Swans out wide to Ronk. Good pick up, Heaney off his shoelaces, and then he swings a left footer inside 50. Oh, Benny Mackay. Nice grab, not paid.
Jeez, that was a mark.
And the kick out of play is going to be a throw in deep.
Reid got more contact on that ball, which actually fell onto his foot and went out of bounds. Just having a look at the Harvey Norman, that's a mark, I reckon.
Yep, I'm playing that.
Pretty stiff there, Ben Mackay. As JB called. Throwing deep inside forward 50 for Sydney. Well played. McDonald, underground. We went through 6 pairs of legs. Nutmeg 6 players, that footy. Picked up by Warner. He goes back. The Swans are piling on the pressure. Reid in good shape here. Well done again, Mackay. Got a fist on it. Rock, the activated subs, look dangerous. Reid over the top with a tackle. It was Lockie Young. Now Rowbottom. Floats one. Centering kick. McInerney's going to mark it. He's going to mark it on his chest, and he can go back and put Sydney in front.
It'll be his 10th disposal this quarter. He's been very good. He's run.
He's won a lot of footy across half-back, hasn't he? He's set it up a lot, but this time he found himself inside 50. I'm not sure if he came from half-back to that play, but Rowbottom, he's just spotted him outside. Has he spotted him, or did he hit the belly of the ball there? Because I think if he's seen him, that is great vision.
That's where that kick should always go, because that's where the space always is. Yep. That's where the forwards want it.
This last couple with the hyperextended knee, a bit of a sprain, and he's bounced back nicely. He's had a big impact on this game, Justin McInerney. Huge goal. Swans by 6 points. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this game. That is the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. And for Bob Jane Team Arts, let's get down to Luffy.
Boys, there's been a bit happening in this last quarter and a half. First, we saw the big knock between Zerha, Paddy McCartan. Now, Zerha didn't even do a concussion test. They ruled him out. Bonner came on as the sub. Paddy McCartan, and you can hear a bit of a clap now. He's gone down and done his concussion test. He believed he was fine, and it's been proven he's now running out onto the ground. And during the third quarter, the big news for the Swans, Buddy Franklin went off with what looked like a dislocated finger. During that three-quarter time break, I overheard the doctors say to John Longmire that they've been able to pull it back into place, and they don't believe it's broken, but they didn't want to risk it, so they ruled him out, and Ben Ronk went onto the ground as the sub for the Swans.
Thank you, Luffy. 3 in a row here, Sydney, to take a 6-point lead. Little Georgie Brayshaw's made his way into the commentary box here at the SCG. I don't know how. Shattered. Very passionate kangaroo. Look at him. He's not happy at all.
He looks like Two-Man pre-game at the moment.
Not happy with what's going on as Horn Francis went past him. McInerney's been superb. Swings it to half forward. It's going to bounce in front of Ronk. Scott there as well. Ronk did control the footy. Just look sharper now, Sydney. More run in the legs. High ball inside 50. Mackay with a big defensive fist. Well done by Young to control it to Possum Valagi. A good ball out of there for Luke McDonald.
Can they get one from this passage of play, North Melbourne? 4:25 remaining. Do it up pretty good so far. Marnie inboard to Stevenson. He's at half back. Sees something he likes. Drives it to centre forward. They need a contest down here. Bonner, the sub, activated. Brought it to ground. Now they need a contest. McInerney, Bonner back in there. Nice pick up from Marnie. Warner tackled him nicely. Florent with the clearing kick for the Sydney Swans to the wing.
His big ball here to win. Thumped forward by Young. Curtis Taylor's got a couple to beat. He just tries to keep the footy in front of him. Went to ground. 2 Swans now. One of them's Lloyd. He kept it in with brilliance. And then the left foot ball is going to wobble for Heaney. Young there as well. And a free kick to Isaac Heaney.
Another free.
Has been extraordinarily over-officiated for me, this game of footy.
It's 56, JB.
That's way, way too many. 6-point lead for the Swannies.
The most before today, 51 for the season.
Spot on.
Heaney was quiet for 3 quarters. No surprise, a player of that quality starting to really impact. Hall coming the other way, Florent. His tackle was pretty good. No prior opportunity to cool. As the big bud looks on the Harvey Norman replay screen. Off his mail is that no real damage to the finger going forward, which is good news. McInerney sat on it. Bell wanted a free kick over the top Simpkin, and they decide to ball it up on the forward 50 arc for the Sydney Swans.
3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Come home very strongly here, the Swans. Kick 3 in a row. Greenwood dispossessed. Sherry tried to go through. Well done by Braden Campbell. Long left foot ball. Brilliant Mark McLean. In the pocket. Oh, that's good. That's being taken away from him.
What was that for?
I have no idea what's going on.
Come on, Abs.
So
let's have a look.
Luke McDonald to dump it out wide. The Swans fans are howling.
Little pull of the jumper, but they were both hanging on.
That's a massive call, JB.
It's a huge call. Davies Uniacke now off half-back. It was a really good mark, I thought. McLean a long one. This unbelievable amount of whistlage in this game.
So that was game over 10 seconds ago. The mark had paid to McLean. Now North Melbourne can square it up potentially. Stevenson's outside 50, but he's a long kick duck.
Yeah, he's got the distance if he hits it right. He'll run around to the right.
Does exactly as Duck said. Loads up, pretty good looking kick to the goal line. Just drifted late. So behind, which brings North Melbourne to within 5 points. 2:20 on the clock. That's Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Shots of David Noble in the box. Not much he can do here. 5 points. 2:20.
You don't see David Noble too animated normally, do you? He's up and about. He's been really screaming and yelling and pointing from the box. So this means a lot to him in the North Melbourne Football Club, this win.
Lloyd to bring this back in. And he goes members side with a long one. In from the side, Big Goldman takes a nice mark.
Been good, Goldie.
What's he got inside 50? He just thumps a high one. No one wearing the same jumper. The McCartans get in each other's way.
Come on.
And Davies Uniacke sees it out. So ball in, 2 minutes left.
You want to drag Big Goldie down there again. Make sure that he's going to take the ruck free kick, and he's just wandering down. Can they find a way here? Inside forward 50. 5 points is the margin. North Melbourne have led for the majority of this game. Sydney with the lead. Goldie tried to do the Tom Hawkins and grab it clean out of the ruck. Mills was all over it. Davies Uniacke trying to get it out to Curtis Taylor. McInerney was well tackled. Could have been paid to Greenwood. Here's the first draft pick. Horn Francis sends it goalward. Nearly there. Stevenson trying to soccer it through on the goal line. Picked it up. He was tackled. Live ball still in play up by letting it go. They've blown their whistle every second except for now. Clearing kick, bouncing and drifting just out of the defensive zone for Sydney Swans.
Simpkin went and found it, tried to find Greenwood by hand. McInerney.
Oh, he's been huge, McInerney. Huge for the Swans.
He was taken high.
Coming up for his 13th disposal. Ash this quarter obviously kicked that goal as well, but he's just one crucial ball across half-back. What about the pressure on that footy in the goal square, Jim?
Unbelievable. McInerney to the member side. Young, hands to it. Simpkin taken in a big tackle. Now the Swans have got the ball forward here with Hayward, Bossenvalagi there as well. Hayward piles into his back, and that's a free kick, but there's only 50 seconds.
50. He's had a crack at the ump.
He's had a rip at the ump.
49 seconds and counting. Bossenvalagi, could he be their hero? Yeah. He'll still be a kick and a half
another
from
50
home.
here. Run into him.
He takes the full measure. Short one to Goldstein. Not the option.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Anywhere but there are two. And now Lloyd, with all of his experience.
Ash is gone. He's leaving.
Goes back and Campbell's got it.
That is not where you go with that footy.
Georgie Brayshaw's going to need some counselling, I think, back there.
Absolutely shattered, George.
Punching the wall.
5 points. It's going to be enough here for Sydney. They've hung on. They've kicked the last 3 of the game, but R2 Bosibalagi, where are you going with that Nurry? Had to be a deep ball. 12 seconds. Heaney is going to kick a goal anyway with brilliance. He's kicked 2 of the last 4, and there's your game. Too good in the end, the Swannies. But if you're a fan of the Kangaroos, much better. 11 points with a couple of seconds left.
The effort's certainly been there. What has predominantly been a really good game has been ruined a little bit by the umpiring. We don't like to go on about it, but there's so many Tiggy Touchwood free kicks tonight. In actual fact, to the point where we don't even know what they're for or which side they're going to. So that's been disappointing, but well done. The cream is ridden to the top, and that's exactly what that young man is. He's a very good player, Heaney. That was a beautiful finish. 60 free kicks for the game.
All right, so we're just about done. 4 goals in a row to finish for the Swans, and they've dodged a bit of a bullet here. Well done to Sydney. Won a game they should have won, but as I said, if you're a fan of the Roos, you'll take that for effort every time you turn up to watch your club. Much better. Bernard Vince, we've got the best on ground votes heading your way.
Yeah, triple MVP today. It's great. What a great game. Surprised us all. 1 vote today I gave to Jack Zeeble. Didn't have a heap of the footy as usual, but hit the scoreboard. 5 goals won today, and was just a real focal point up there forward and just demanded the ball in his area. So great effort. I think we'll see him play forward from now on for North Melbourne. Great call by the coaches. Jai Simpkin, 2 votes, 32 disposals, kicked the goal, 5 clearances as well. Was unbelievable with his chain or link up through the middle of the ground for North Melbourne. But best on ground for me, 3 votes, Justin McInerney. Not a huge name in the Swans outfit, but 29 disposals, kicked a goal, 6 clearances, and just was instrumental in that last quarter, 13 disposals, and just continually won the ball across halfback.
Well done, Bernard. Well done to Sydney. Big finish for them, and they've got the chockies at the SCG. We are heading to a break. We're not far away, of course, from Collingwood and West Coast. That game's at Marvel. But for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor.